Time for a very special updates from the Empire. Of course, I'm Jeff Levac, but the man, the myth, the legend himself, head coach Tom Manas here with us, and he loves when I say those things about him. Don't ignore the head shake all the way around. This show, this show is going to be a very, very fun one. Not only are we going to be joined by some of your favorite players for the team and the commissioner of the NAL, but Coach. You said, I want specials. I want something for the people who tune in. So here's what we're going to do. Everybody who starts buying their tickets right now, 518 714 2200, Brendan, you're going to get a 20% off discount code, a promo code for the team store. That gets you 20% off your entire order between now and Friday. Like one big order, give everyone 20% off. I know what's next. Season ticket holders, people who already picked up the home opener tickets. What about me? Everybody you refer who calls up and buys a ticket, you go into a raffle to win a championship game ball that's been autographed by league MVP Darius Prince and the man who probably should have won Ironman, Dwayne Hollis. Two of our team captains have autographed it. So you call your buddy who goes, I'm thinking about getting tickets. They buy 5 tickets to the home opener. You get 5 entries into that raffle. So you have the only thing you have to get into that raffle is already have your tickets purchased and make sure that when somebody calls up 518-714-2200 to buy their tickets, they say that you're the reason they called and you're in the running to win that football that you cannot purchase. You can't buy one. You got to win it. It's autographed by Darius Prince and Dwayne Hollis. So we're giving out merch codes. We're giving out footballs, Coach. We're going after it. We're gonna give people every chance possible to win and get great Empire gear.
Fantastic. Okay, so starting from me, we talk a great game. Time to step up. This is your chance once and for all to win February. Okay, I'm counting on you all. If you want to treat this like a telethon, I don't care. If you want to treat it like a sales-thon, I don't care. You want to look at it like a practice? Great. Let's win today. I'd love for you all to, pick up the phone now. There's no reason to wait. The 20% off is fantastic. We have the best store going with the merchandise on there. And aside from the merchandise, if we didn't even do that, I hope you'll still pick up the phone today and make an effort for it. Okay. So.
Well, and I see Lisa. Lisa's like, hey, I got 4 season tickets already. So Lisa, call your friends. Tell them today's the day. Go get these tickets. Get your tickets today for me, because that way I have a chance to win that autograph football. So
Right.
Again, every referral you make, think of it like spreading the word of the Albany Empire. Your friends are going to love you for getting them into the game, and then you're going to love your friends because every ticket they purchase gets you an entry into that raffle to win the football. So it's something we're giving it a shot. We're seeing how much how much we can get done today and how we can reward you. Like if the team store is blown up and empty by the end of the week because you all saved 20%, hey, make me go figure out how to refill it. If you've got 100 friends who buy tickets and you have 100 entries in to win that ball, hey, good for you. Enjoy the football.
And you know what, Jeff, if I could, one thing. Okay, you love the Darius Princes, you love the Dwayne Hollises, you love the Wades, the Lewises, the Hags. I mean, I can go on and on and on about our roster, especially the talent that we bring here every year. When you buy tickets, we're able to keep great players here. Okay? We're not talking about making their payroll, and we're not talking about that. They want to play in front of a crowd just as much as you want to come and be part of a crowd. Okay. When you buy tickets and you fill our arena, there's nothing better. I watched the 2019 championship game last night, and I was happy, but I was also sick to my stomach to see that many people in that arena and it being that packed and that loud and the energy that was produced. I really want to be coaching this team in that environment, and I want our players to really enjoy that. So, again, please do what you need to do.
DJ, cool, got my tickets. I'll see what I can do. I like that. Hey, man, I appreciate the effort.
What we want. Yep.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And
But do while we're on this show, pick
Yeah.
up the phone and call somebody right now. You know,
get it rolling. Get it
You know?
rolling. Get that football. I would love to see. And then that's a story you tell too. Like I got the autographed Darius and Hollis football because I got 20 people to come in and do this and boom, boom, boom. And all of a sudden you're going to be able to look around the stands and see your 20 buddies and point and be like, you're welcome. You're welcome. You were on the fence. I told you to get your tickets and now you're here every game. That's usually how it works so you come once, that's in your veins.
When are we going to give that ball away?
Friday at noon, we're going to do the drawing. So
this Friday.
Yeah, this Friday at noon, we're going to do the drawing. So you can get entries in most of this week for that. So get them going. But I would see like if you could get to a point where you got like 2 or 3 people calling a day, next thing you know, you got 20, 30 entries in this thing. I'd stack it. Why not? We reward effort. That's what we do around here. We reward effort. And me, I just get rewarded because I don't leave, and it just keeps people from being mad at me. So we got that going on today. Make sure you call. Brendan's on the phone, 518-714-2200. Every new ticket purchase, you're going to get that promo code, 20% off merch in the store. And then everybody who calls up to buy those tickets, if you are referred by somebody who already has tickets, season tickets, even if it's just home opener tickets, they get an entry into the raffle. Pretty simple, pretty easy, a lot of fun, and just something different. You said you want to, Coach said, listen, we got to start rewarding some of these people for coming. We're down to do it. Let's make it happen. Coach, of course, the 2023 season is presented by TransFinder. We're very excited for that. TransFinder Field at the MVP Arena. So we're very grateful to TransFinder for presenting the season, and we'll be even more grateful to you when TransFinder looks around and goes, holy cow, look at all the people staring at our field with this great team for the 2023 season.
Well, and again, like I said about the players, same thing goes with sponsors. The more people in the crowd, the bigger the sponsorships. The bigger the sponsorships, the better the rosters. It's simple math.
Yeah. It's, one hand washes the other kind of situation.
Yeah. That's professional sports in general, right?
Yeah. So. And that's all we're trying to do is have some fun, keep football on the field. And don't forget, what is it? Is it 6,000 to the home opener? And I have to get in a dunk tank for the next game? I think it's 6,000. That's a low number. I had somebody come up to me today at Crossgates Mall for Tykes Tuesday and go, it's my fault, and I'm looking forward to seeing that dunk tank. All right, well, here's your chance. I'll do it, and we'll do it, and maybe we'll do it to raise money for the 518 Foundation or whatever. But we get 6,000 tickets sold to this game, I will go in a dunk tank. I don't care. I'm not afraid of it. I don't really want to do it, but if that's the little extra motivation that you need is to push me back in the water like the beached whale I am, let's roll. I'm not scared. Let's get it going. Coach Menas, what is going on in Empire Land? What is the latest we've got before us as far as Empire football news and notes?
Rosters 99% completed. There's a couple people that I'm talking to, hopefully talking to another one tomorrow. The big, crazy big, which I can't obviously say anything about yet. Other than that, little tweaks here and there. We had, I just turned in the paperwork. I had to release a young man today. A rookie. I won't get into that yet until the transaction reports are done, but no, nothing nefarious or anything like that. It was just a personal thing. So, but other than that, the roster's been stable. The coaching staff's intact. Everything that you would ask for a professional football team to be 30 days out from camp, we're there. So I'm very happy with where we're at right now.
I love Dave Williams. Dave Williams, you said 7,500 earlier. Dave, it's up to you. What do you think? I think, all right, 6,500. 6,500.
How about 7? We'll just say 7.
7 flat, 7,000 sold. I'll get in the dunk tank. There you go. That's all.
7,000 dunk take. 8,000 was in the dress. Remember?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds remotely familiar.
8,000 was Levesque in the dress. Gaz made by like 4,000 seats.
Guys can't afford 4,000. Guys just had his second kid. Wes Goslowski is now here. So, well, I mean, maybe my kid, maybe his, who knows? But it's funny every time before he's told me that his wife was with child, I just start picking on him like the typical nonsense that a friend would do, and it's hey, say hi to your wife and my kids for me. And like the first time I did it, he looked at me really funny. I'm like, whoa, I'm just joking, buddy. Like whatever, but it was because he hadn't told me yet that she was pregnant. And then I guess I did it again this time. I hit him with it again. So it's like I'm gonna have to stop making that joke for him.
Yeah, you better stop.
Full household.
Yeah, for sure.
So all right, so I'm gonna go 7,000. 7,000 tickets sold. I'm gonna dunk tank the next game.
It was
8,000 addressed. More than that was I would do it for a full game. That's what it was.
In a dress.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't care.
A wet dress.
Well, it'll be wet eventually. Careful with Twishmore, ladies. Careful. A lot of guys going to be going home alone that night. I can tell you that right now.
Funny you brought up bets.
Okay.
So I love Inside the Walls podcast, guys. So a fan had actually called me up and said, hey, you got to watch this episode from last year where Jim makes this pick and says that if whoever he picked, he would wear their gear on every show moving forward for the entire year.
Okay.
We won.
Right.
Hasn't worn our gear. So I sent him a little message. I said, here's the episode. Here's the time in which you say it. I'm not holding him to it. I mean, that's fine. I would. But at least buy ahead.
Well, here's what you do. He calls and buys a ticket to the home opener right now. He gets 20% off merch. He can buy himself a bunch of stuff.
That poor guy can't get a day off until the playoffs or the championship. He started a new job. So, no, just funny, though, how we were talking about bets and just saying we won. And
all right, here we go. Jim did just message us. Manas coming strong with the off-season beard. Also, bring back Levac and Gaz show. I know this was coming up. I knew this was coming up. It's already in motion.
All right, boy, Jim.
And the Levac and Gaz show is you got to take that up with Gaz. He started working at Hooters again, and
I saw that. I saw that picture of Gaz with
his new work outfit, his new uniform.
It's embarrassing.
That was so, Coach. That again, speaking of bets, he is this college basketball fan. He thinks he's an insider. So I think it was the first year of Levac and Gaz. We gave my daughter like a 20-point head start, and she beat him in the bracket pick and pull. So he had to do a whole show in a Hooters girl outfit, and I'll give him his props. He did it, but he also he lost to like a 10-year-old girl, and who literally picked her brackets based on like her favorite TV shows, whatever school reminded her of her favorite TV shows, and she beat him.
I love it.
So there you have it. That's why he's there.
That's why he's Gaz. Yeah.
So he's gonna have to take it up with take it up with him. I don't know if he can get time off of his shifts at Hoots. Actually, I did talk to the general manager, the regional manager for Hooters, and he said, "Thank you for the free publicity. However, please don't ever post that again."
Right. Yeah, a lot of people.
All right, so we got rosters 99% set. We're getting closer and closer. Is it kind of feel like, is it the calm before the storm for you and Coach Ware and everybody else right now, where it's like you've done a lot of the recruiting, there's some tinkering to go on, but like you don't have the guys in camp yet. Like what's the daily look like for you guys at this moment?
Okay, so right now, like tonight, I have a defensive coaches meeting, Zoom call. the hay's in the barn as far as who we're bringing in. Like I said, 99%. So we're not actively out recruiting anymore. So a lot of time can be put on preparation, the practice scripts, the language. You remember, we have 13, 14 returning vets, but those other 20, we have to teach our language, right? So how we communicate on the football field, things we have to do. A lot of it is getting the coaches up to speed, educating them. So, really the idea is when we hit the ground, the coaches will get there about a week before the players for camp. I'll get there several weeks early. But once the coaches get in, then we just assemble all the work we've done in the offseason, put together the playbooks, have everything ready for the players, have everything in place, and just coordinate dates, times, things of that nature on the ground. This, I don't know, God, this got to be my 40th camp, something like that. So I don't get real riled up. I'm excited, but not nervous about it.
I can't help myself. Who had a better 40 time, Kane or Abel? Like when your first couple camps, who was it that really got after it?
Well, obviously Kane. I mean, or he had the better arm, So.
He can really hack up a defense. All right, so we got your partner in crime ready to join us right now. And that is assistant head coach, offensive coordinator of the Albany Empire, Coach Damon Ware with us. Coach Ware, what's going on, buddy?
How you guys doing?
Coach.
Just another day.
Yeah, right. It sounds like it.
All right, so Coach Ware is with us, and Coach, I just asked Coach Manas, where are you at right now, and he's talking about the terminologies and the things like that. What, Mike, if it's all right, I was going to ask you to have a guy like Sam Castronova in year 2 of learning your terminology. How much different is that compared to what you had to deal with in year 1, the two of you guys, and in Supernova?
I mean, obviously, it's great to have a guy that continues on to the second year. At least the beginning of the learning curve is easier. But, again, Sam is still a young quarterback, and there's still so much growth for him to go. And so we've got a long way to go. And so we're going to keep adding stuff to his knowledge base, and we're going to keep pushing the limits of the offense. And so we got a long way to go. And so, coming into camp this year, I'm going to treat him like he's still a rookie, and we're just going to get after it and see where we can take him.
Treating him like a rookie. Can I be part of treating Castronova like a rookie? I kind of like that idea.
Absolutely. All these nicknames and stuff he's got. Yeah, go for it.
There's only one nickname because you can't give yourself a nickname. He wants to be the Italian Stallion. That's never going to happen. It's Sammy Supernova Castronova. I mean,
unless you're Sylvester Stallone, you sound like a hack porn star.
I'm okay with his nickname being hack porn star, though. If we want to do that, that's fine. How could you not love being Supernova, though? I don't understand.
Can you imagine walking into a room and say, refer to me as a stallion? I mean, I just don't understand where these kids get this stuff.
No, I think the nickname that he got is fine. The Supernova. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's unique.
The nickname he better hold on to QB1. That's the nickname he better hold on
to. So what do you guys so it's a defensive meeting tonight. Is that where, Coach Ware, would you still take part in defensive meetings, or do you kind of just bow out of the room?
I like to jump on there, and Coach knows I stay out of. That's not my wheelhouse. I stay out of it, but I always want to learn stuff that they're doing. There might be something that they go over that if I can add that to our repertoire, something that we can adjust and beat. And so I always like to stay up with the defense. So I'll always jump on those meetings at least for a little bit and check out what they're doing and hope I learn something too.
And you know what? And we work like that where there's a fine line between staying in your lane, right? Coach Ware, I would never attempt to walk into Coach Ware's office and say, hey, we're going to do this tomorrow and we're going to do that tomorrow and that kind of thing. But if I see something or, I may make a suggestion in a private meeting with him, You know what I mean? Coach Ware is a great football coach and not just a great offense coordinator. He's a great football coach. And him and I have been doing this a long, long time. And to the extent where we've coached every position on the field. So Coach Ware's coached offensive line. He's coached quarterbacks. He's coached defensive backs. He's coached linebackers. He's coached everybody, just like I have. So at times we'll see things and we'll share that information. I think that's why we're such a good team. Okay. And, it's funny. He said what he said about if I can pick up something that we can work on the offensive side of the ball. Trust me, I get so much stuff off of our offense, right? Because if we can stop our offense on a play by doing something, we can stop everybody in the league. So we always take that approach too, that every day we get a chance to go against two really good coaches. So we treat practice like that, and we go after it and challenge each other and talk shit and do all that other stuff that coaches do. So
I always got to talk a little shit, but I mean, again, and he's right, and that's what does make us good is we make practice so competitive that again, and I'd hate to say it, like the game slowed down a little bit, but really we practice at such a high pace that when the game comes around, it is a little bit slower for us, and that's where we've been able to be successful against other teams, is we have all out dogfights all week. We prepare, we do all the little details, and then when it comes game time, again, that's where your guys, it really gets to be about them. They're prepared, they understand what's going on, they know what they're going to see, and that's where we've been successful. And like I said, I mean, we're going for championship number 3. I mean, that's huge. I mean, I don't know how cool people think that is, but for a coach, the game is all about winning, and you're only as good as your last game. And in the last 2 years, we've ended the last game as being champions. That's what you want to be as a coach, and it never gets old winning. And so we want to do this again. We want to keep doing this as long as we can do it. And that's the fun of it, is we're just going to keep fighting. Every year we go at it as it's a new year. It's never, we were champions last year, so let's just slack off and let's take the off season easy. We just keep going harder. And I mean, every off season I keep laughing how much more effort we put into the off season, and it shows up. And that's, like I said, I just, we listen to other people and how, little they do in the off season compared to us. I mean, we're holding Zoom meetings and we're having coaches calls and we're doing all these things. And, everybody else is on vacation, hanging with their family and all those things. It's incredible. So
it's funny because when the season ends, I probably talk to Coach Ware every single day for the next 2 months. And then once we have a pretty solid foundation of our roster, then I'll go and I'll call him maybe 3 times a week for maybe a month. And then once we clear that and we get into heavy meetings, coaches, players, whatnot, then we talk every day. I think I call Coach Ware on an average 3-4 times a day, where we'll talk about a player, we'll talk about practice, we'll talk about, terminology, we'll talk about any issue that may come up. And it's funny because I talked to some coaches and I said, well, they all say the same thing to me. How's your off season? And I'm like, we don't have an off season. We worked harder this year than we worked last year. And next year we'll work even harder. That's just the nature of it, because when you're at the very top, everyone's trying to bump you off,
We get it is the updates from the Empire. Head coach Tom Menas, assistant head coach / offensive coordinator Damon Ware. The 2023 season is brought to you by TransFinder. The thing about repeating is almost always like when you repeat, it's because you kept enough things constant, nothing changed. You were able to like weather some storms, and everybody stayed in place. So going from year 1 to year 2, we went from like almost more like an outdoor game to an Ironman game. Now it's an Ironman game with nets. So even though you guys have kept, the majority of you guys in place and we're bringing back a bunch of guys, the game around you has changed. How are you guys changing how you prepare, knowing now that there's going to be live ball coming off those nets?
I mean, again, and that's what just keeps us so excited about each season, is there's different things and challenges to prepare for. And so, as a coach, if everything stays the same, yes, it can get stagnant. we've really changed so much over 3 years, and that's what keeps us motivated, and that keeps us working hard. And so, this year dealing with the Nets and all the things that brings in, last year going to the Ironman, and every year it brings so much excitement to just try new things. And so, for those that just sit around and wait for it to just happen, I mean, I feel sorry for you, but we're prepared for those details because we know it's going to be a huge difference. So we're excited.
Lots more scoring. There's going to be, I would add 3 more touchdowns per game just because of the Nets. I was fortunate enough this year to be voted to be on the Rules and Competition Committee. Myself, Coach Gibson, owner Steve Kerr, Joe Clarkston, and of course the commissioner. And we just recently had a meeting about the Nets and some rules involving the Nets and the kicking game. I'm not going to say anything because I don't know where that is. Maybe when we have the commissioner on, he can talk about it. But yeah, there's change. Not only change in rules, there's change in people, right? So half of our team will be people we didn't have last year. So, that's another part of it. Developing the continuity, developing the teamwork, developing all that. And I don't know how you do it in the off season without communicating with your players regularly. So we do.
Who's the Net a bigger challenge for, the defensive side of the ball or the offensive side of the ball?
Yes.
Very true.
Well, I know, as far as I had this conversation over the weekend. Joe Powell, who played for the Cobras last season, was returning kicks in the XFL this weekend. So a buddy of mine was like, man, what's it like watching these guys return kicks in the indoor game? And I'm like, last year it's scary because it's a shorter field. You don't really see a lot of kicks like that. They're on kickoffs. This year it's going to be absolutely terrifying because you're going to have your back to the guys coming for you. This is even worse than the other game.
But we've implemented some rules that will protect the returner to a certain degree. And we've implemented some rules, again, theoretically, where you have to kick it to the net. Okay. So the days of Eric Vodka getting ordered to kick it out of bounds and watching you and Mike with the cash register going chink, 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 chink. Those days are gone, I think.
Mike and I both looking over at the bench. Stop it right now.
and I want to take a second and congratulate Joe Powell. That good stuff, man. It was great seeing you on TV. I watched you play. Proud of you, happy for you. That's you're living your dream, man. That's what it's about. We have a few guys in that. So
yeah. There was this great moment, and I was texting back and forth with team president Matt Woods. They were talking it was this moment where the play-by-play guy goes, "Yeah, Joe Powell of Globe Tech University," and then it's like a 3 count of silence, and the guy goes, "Yeah, I don't know where it is either." And they start going, and Woods texts me. He goes, "He could at least say he played for the Carolina Cobras last year." So I'm like, at least then, he can at least go there instead of bringing up a university.
And that's why I keep saying let's not keep promoting the other leagues on these shows, rather because they don't promote us at all.
Right, I agree. I'm with you. Coach, where are you? When are we going to see you? I know Coach Menas is getting closer and closer to being on my doorstep here in the Cap region. Where are you at, and how long till we see you?
Right now I'm in the Chicago area. I will touch down in town sometime in that mid-March timeframe. Get in a little bit early, get with Coach so we can just finalize all our plans. And it's always better to be face-to-face. It's, Zoom is great and phone calls are great, but there's nothing like being in the war room and having the boards around us and all those things. So we'll get in, him and I will coordinate all the last details before the other coaches get in, and then it's full steam ahead. And, like I said, I even took a little time off this year, so I'm, get fully rested, fully prepared. I'm just so excited. Like I said, I the NAL needs to know that as much as I joke about these darn awards, you guys give me every reason to be excited to come back and keep doing what we want to do. And so thank you, NAL, and I don't want any of your words. Keeping me motivated, and we'll see you on championship night in Albany.
Best thing they could have ever done was not give that guy the award.
Oh my God! Like it's really. Obviously, you deserve it, Coach. Like, you obviously deserve it. I'm not, but it is my favorite thing to watch you get like not mad about it.
So here's an inside story, real quick. So it's about 6 weeks left to go in the season, 5 weeks left to go in the season, and we're back on the winning streak, right? And now we're basically humming at that point, right? And it's just him and I in the office. And I said to him, I go, okay, I got to get this out there right now, just so you know, we're not winning anything. Okay? Just so you know. Remember that?
Yeah,
I said, we're not winning anything, but here's what my mission is. My mission is to get Prince to finally get the MVP thing, right? My mission is to get Melvin Hollins or Dwayne Hollis, the Iron Man. My mission is to get Sam, on the first team. My mission is this. My mission is that. And he agreed wholeheartedly, right? So now we're at like week 2, 2 weeks left to go in the season, or a week left to go in the season. They come out with the ballots. And we're like, screw this. But we sat and we filled them out, and we filled everything out. We got our guys on there, and we knew that was going to happen. And then, of course, the inevitable happened. And, he wasn't mad, though.
Wasn't not at all.
But the team that's 9.3 points better than any other offense in the league is not voted in as, that's nothing. So you can either win 4 games and win an award. You can be almost 10 points less than the next offense and you can win an award. I guess greatness is just, you just don't win awards. So I understand now. I'm never going to win anything, and I'm okay with that now. So.
Damon,
maybe next year we'll get participation trophies.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I guarantee you they'd love to break into my house and take the Executive of the Year ball after the offseason I've had. I guarantee they'd love to. If they could take one back, that's the one they want.
But in all honesty, just seeing our players, even seeing you getting yours, I mean, that stuff is all exciting. And as long as we can keep getting something that shows that, Albany is the best team in the absolute country here at this game, I mean, that means everything is, I do get pissy over these awards. I'm not really mad. But at the end of the day, I just never understand how people just don't like greatness. And that's okay. Like I said, we always want people to do it. But I get it. Nobody wanted to be, Coach. Nobody wanted to see the Patriots keep winning championships. Nobody wants to see us still win championships. But guess what? Get used to it because we're going to be back again. I
love it, Coach Ware, man. We appreciate you, and we'll catch up with you shortly. I got a guy who always seems angry coming up next. But Coach, we love you. We miss you. Can't wait to see you here.
I'll see you soon.
See you guys soon.
I'll talk to you in a couple hours, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Coach. Have a good one, you guys.
There he goes, Damon Ware. I love that guy. He's, again, he deserves the award, but it's fun to see him not get it. I'm sorry, because he gets.
What though? All kidding aside, it's not even close with him.
Right.
Okay.
Well, he'd be coaching most of the other teams. If he wasn't working here with you in Albany, he'd be coaching a lot of those other teams. So how can he not be the top assistant coach?
But he'd still screw up because he'd win too many games and wouldn't win Coach of the Year.
Well, you've could have taught him that. Joining us right now is one of the reasons that second straight championship happened. It is Mr. Nick Hague. What's up, Hague?
Oh, how are you? Let me tell you, I'm really happy I just tuned in right now because, I caught the tail end of what we just were discussing. So I got to be honest with you, it's an absolute joke. That's my 2 cents. So I always tell the league, I tell everybody in this league, the eye in the sky doesn't lie. You do stats. So, they left my name off the table. It is what it is, happens. But at the end of the day, like I said, play the film, check the stats. Check with your players. That's how they felt after the game. After the game, the next game, they wanted to come into this dungeon and play. But that's your award for you. How you doing? My bad. I had to get off my chest. I composed myself a lot last year. I really ate it last year. I composed myself with it last year. I did it because At the end of the day, it didn't matter. We were after one thing. We did that. That's what we're after again this year. There's another championship, which we're going to do. So, yeah, I'm a little hot. But I actually kind of, like, forgot about that. Then Coach Ware kind of, like, brought it back to me, allowed me to understand kind of what happened. So I just want to let everyone know, like, again, last year, like, just ask everybody who it was. And, like, I don't know what coach, what people got something to say, who votes in these votes, but
Tommy Gross sums it up nicely. Mr. Intensity is in the house.
oh, we're here. We're here. I can't wait. I really, you know, I mean, we're ready to go.
Well, you know, and that's somebody asked me when I called Nicky up and I said, "Are you ready?" That's all I had to say. And he goes, "Been waiting for your call, right?" And I said, "Well, I know I didn't have to call you early. You're my side chick. I could call you late and get you." So he knows exactly how important he is to the Empire. And one of the things that we had to do last year, and we didn't do it out of his talent, we did it out of necessity for the wide receivers, is we made Nick a defensive specialist. All right. So we made Nick the defensive specialist, and a lot of people at that time weren't having their MAC linebackers be defensive specialists. But by doing that, that gave us more opportunity to have wide receivers. And Nick was okay with that. And, you know, there's nobody on our team that understands our defense more, and that him and I communicate so well on the field and in preparation for a game, where we talk about strategies, we talk about what we're going to do. And I'll say, "Hey, I've got this idea for this goal line defense. And what do you think?" And he's like, "Just tell me where I got to go." And I said, "You know, this is your play. If you don't make this play, they score." He goes, "Good enough." And then we became the best red zone defense, I think, in the country the last month. So
Absolutely.
it's that kind of, and that's why Nick's so important to us, you know, his leadership.
One of the things I love about Nick, you know, being a front office guy, is when you bring up Nick Hague, everybody talks about the great experience of watching him play. Just want to remind everybody, you can call up, you got right now, 518-714-2200. You get a 20% off merch code for the team store, your entire order to use between now and Friday. You refer somebody who doesn't have tickets yet, but you already have your tickets. You go in the running for an autographed football from the championship game. Darius Prince, Dwayne Hollis autographs on there, and I'm sure I'll be able to get one from Nick at some point during the season for you. But get that together, and like I love this. So Nick, I just got to tell you, like the short period of time I spent down south, you are the most hated man on other teams, and it's
I thought I was.
You're the most hated in front offices. But people, when you bring up Nick Hague, they go, "Well, he did this and he did that and he did this," and it's like, yeah, but he kicked your ass. That's why you're mad. So I like, how's it like? Is there a part of you who ever gets upset that people don't realize what you are off the field? Like, because you're this nice, you know, well thought out guy off the field. You walk between the lines and you're a warrior. You're going to battle.
Right.
Do you ever get upset that people don't take the time to realize that, like, there's two Nick Hagues, there's inside the lines and outside the lines?
Nah, well, honestly, that's a good point, Jeff. Really, realistically, I probably used to care about that stuff a lot more. But as you get older in life, you start realizing, first and foremost, I mean, if anybody's got, you know, something against me anyways, doesn't like me, then you're not in my circle anyway. So, you know, it's not going to bother me. You know, your opinion's your opinion. What you think of me is what you think of me. The people who know me are the people who mad at me, and like those are the people who have something to say. And if they have something to say, that's who their words validate. You know, so at the end of the day, you know, of course, not everyone's gonna like, you know, someone who comes in and gets the job done and has the energy and the passion I have behind it. So, you know, some people get a chance to know you, some people don't. And like I said, at the end of the day, if you're not in my circle, anyways, hey, it's no sweat off my back.
You know what's funny is, if you want to know how Nick Hague is as a person, spend about 5 minutes with his mom on an elevator. and I'm serious. You talk about a great woman, and she had a big influence on him, I can tell. And of course, his dad's just like him, though. So his dad, when the game starts,
a New York accent instead of a Western
guy, but up until the game starts, yeah. But his mom, what a sweetheart, you know, and you can tell they raised him right. And again, Nick will tell you this. You want to be on the Empire. That's a huge part of it. You got to be a good guy off the field.
Absolutely.
You have to. And we don't just want you because you play football. We want you because you're a good person that plays football. So he exemplifies that for us.
I got to bring this up. Stephen Poole said, "Hey, cutting promos on folks. This guy should transition into a pro wrestling career." have you ever thought like the Incredible Haig? You just start
I've
slamming
had
dudes?
so many people tell me all the time, like, bro, you gotta do wrestling. You gotta do wrestling. I'm like, I don't know. I just never.
But if he leaves the
why.
East Coast, no one's going to know what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly, coach. Exactly.
Right. I mean, if he gets past, if he's like anywhere from Kansas West, they're just be like, what do you say? What do you say?
We're in trouble. We're in trouble.
No, what we have to do is, you guys haven't been privy to this, but you guys got to be a part of when Nick and I have an annual call, and it's the shoe reveal call.
Oh, we got to get that going.
It'll be the shoe he's wearing this year, and he'll call me up and send me a video. Man, I save these, man. When I'm feeling grumpy, I watch one of those.
Right. Oh yeah.
Has it happened yet?
No, it hasn't happened yet. Hasn't happened yet. But going off what Coach said right there, I mean, if that, I tell people all the time, man. Everyone's always like, where you get the energy from, where you have this, and I tell people all the time. First and foremost, man. I mean, we're here right now. We're talking. No day is guaranteed. Nothing's ever guaranteed. So I try to tell people all the time. A lot of people don't take the value of life and in conversations. And what Coach said right there, he saves those videos. That right there, to me, that means more to me in my heart than a lot of other things will mean, because at the end of the day, that's something that is going to hold value and reflection on somebody's life and a moment that is important to somebody else. So I think, like, everyone's always like, I always say to myself, man, how are you not so full of energy? A lot of people, they take so much of the negative instead of just realizing the positives in a day and something that is important. Like today, this is a positive. This is a great show. We got absolute studs coming on this show from top to bottom, including you, Coach Ware. Sorry, you got screwed again. But anyways, so today, that's a positive. That's something great. That's really what it comes down to, man. Just love life and love, who you are and what you got going on. Be blessed.
See, hold on. This is what I love. So Hal, our friend from Fogg's Automotive, Starks just pooped his panties seeing Haig's back. Like, you instantly involve, like it's the battle flag is waving. As soon as Haig starts talking, the battle flag goes out.
We get him going.
Hey, I watched our game with them this weekend, and there was a play where Starks was supposed to be blocking Nick, and Starks came out, and Stark always plays very low. I'm being polite when I say that. He plays very low. Either he can't keep his feet or that's his MO. I don't know. I'm not saying, but he plays very low. So he comes out on Nick. And they show the replay, and I ran it in slow motion. And he comes out to hit Nick, and he's hugging him. He's like hugging his knees, and he's holding on. And Nick's still running to the play, and he's dragging Starks with him. And then finally he had enough, and Nick just goes, but it was just, I'm thinking, man, that's like fighting a bear. You don't know what you're getting into. And he was just holding on to his legs,
Yep.
And they ended up calling him for holding, but it was just funny the way it worked out. It was just crazy.
He got an up close look at the shoe reveal, Nick.
Exactly. So yeah, we got to get
him right here, and
we got to get that going.
He had the shoe revealed. Yeah, the shoe reveal. Sorry.
So Nick, right? So I got to ask you, because like Albany misses you, Albany loves you. Like, seriously, the second you started, your face popped up. We see the comments start coming through, whether it be on the Empire Facebook, the YouTube, wherever it is. What's the thing about Albany that, like, when you got home, you're like, I'm gonna miss this until I get back there?
Yeah, I would say the area itself is really cool. Like I explain to people, you don't think there's really too much to do, but then, I mean, down to last year where, kind of over there, like the hotels and stuff like that. I mean, that whole strip, just the amount of different, the stores, the malls, like a mall in Albany, they got great stores in there. They got good, food. They got a lot of things to do. So I don't think that people realize how much stuff is actually to do in that area, which is nice. And then, people come, family visits. It's like you have things to do left and right. You're not bored. You're not like searching for stuff. So definitely just the area alone. And People out there are just good people. I notice a lot of people just, at stores and stuff, little things holding the door, a lot of stuff that, so you get lost nowadays. Just basic, thank yous and yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, stuff like that. That's the type of stuff I like. So seeing that, it's good people, good. It's a great city and a tight-knit community. So definitely miss that stuff.
Love it. I love it. Nick Hague with us right now. Of course, the 2023 season is presented by TransFinder. Get your tickets right now, 518-714-2200. Anybody who's getting their tickets right now, you're going to get a promo code on the phone, 20% off the team store for your merch. And then anybody who refers someone who already has your tickets, you go in the drawing for that autographed championship game football. And just a lot of we're doing our part to get you in the seats.
Hey,
And
I'll go.
getting this guy back.
Nick, will you go out on a limb with me here?
Yeah.
If we get 8,000 people at the game where he's got to wear a dress,
come on now, that'd be the best.
We're going to guarantee you. We're going to guarantee you guys. We'll guarantee you guys a championship in 2023.
Guaranteed.
Nick, 7,000 the next game. I'm in a dunk tank before the game. I do the dunk tank in a dress.
All right, let's get it going. Sell the tickets. Let's go. You guys be back in the house anyway, baby. I mean,
I'm here to help. This is what I do.
You're seeing star after star in the building, man. Let's go. We need you. We need you. We need you. We need you. There's no doubt about it.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot.
You had a couple questions for the guys. You want to try to get those in while we got a minute?
Actually, like this. So I think Nick's like a perfect one. Nick, what's your movie? Like, what's your favorite movie? Like, you see it, you can't stop. You gotta stop and watch that movie no matter what's going on.
The Town.
That makes so much sense.
Oh, are you kidding me? It's electric. If you haven't watched that, go watch it. You know what I mean? Whose car we taking? That's how you got to show up. That's how we show up to Albany, baby. Where coach is like, where we going? Whose car we taking? We're there. What? Doesn't matter. You don't want to show up to a game on Saturday and come play us on a Sunday? How about that? How's that? They say, how about those apples? Oh, you know who that we're talking about. That's you, Jacksonville. Like I said, whose car we taking? Didn't matter. We played Monday and beat you.
That could be the best line ever for a teammate, right? Hey, we're going to go someplace. You're going to have to hurt somebody. I can't tell you where you're going, where we're going. Are you driving or am I driving?
Yeah.
Right? It's like,
whose car we taking?
Exactly.
We got to do that this year. It's got to be like Nick and Cisse or something. Like Cisse
of course.
Couch,
Of course.
Walks in. We're gonna go hurt some people. You can't ask any questions.
Every time before the game, and now like my wife, she's forced to do it because she's with me every night before the game. Troy, that's a must. That's like the automatic. That's what I go to every time before every game. Don't miss it, Troy. I mean,
Troy.
Wait, Greeks. I'm just gonna say.
Okay, you go, coach. You see what I'm saying? Nothing better.
Well, then I want to watch Braveheart. I'm Scottish. Where are we going?
Braveheart.
Yeah, but
Braveheart.
Okay, well, you like Braveheart, right?
I do, but Troy's better.
Yeah, but Braveheart, he ends up hanging on a bridge, decapitated.
Right.
Listen, the way what I went through this summer, it doesn't seem like a terrible ending.
All right, Nick, keep going, Jeff. Give him a couple more.
You want to go? All right, so dude, what's the diet busting snack? You're a fitness guy. You have your own brand, whatever. What's a snack that if it's sitting on a table, diet's dead?
If it's there, I'm gonna eat it.
Yep.
Ice cream.
Yeah. What flavor? What flavor?
Ooh, cookie dough, mint chocolate chip. What though? I mean, you gotta love a little bit of. I mean, obviously, black raspberry. We could throw that in there too every now and again.
Really, I was with you to the black raspberry.
But everything's got to have rainbow jimmies on it. Everything. Rainbow Jimmies, not
Capital Region viewers here.
Have you met my 6-year-old linebacker?
See what I mean?
Just a reminder, Capital Region Jimmies are sprinkles in this conversation, just so you know.
Okay, that's how. There it is. I'm going Jimmies.
All right. Well, listen, we've always talked about doing that one of these days. We'll have you out, and we'll get a bunch of people in, and they got to translate Worcester to Albany.
Hey, Nick, before we lose you here.
Yeah.
Why don't you take a minute and tell us about your business?
So I own Rebuild. So it's I do personal training one-on-one and then also recovery. So have all the recovery systems,
Well, tell us, man, where at and what's your phone number? Who
in Worcester right now, out here in Worcester and stuff like that. So obviously business is going good, and I'm actually going to be doing some stuff to plan on trying to bring some of it out to Albany this year. So I got that in the works. Actually, I have to talk to you about that, Coach, and actually talk to Mike. So yeah, we'll see what we can do and make some stuff happen out that way.
Awesome.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
it. I will
Hey,
say
I'll
that-
tell you one thing on the air right now, so you can help me out with, since you're the fitness guru on our squad.
Yeah.
You're going to be in charge of warm-ups and calisthenics this year.
Oh, I love it.
Pre-game and pre-practice, okay?
Oh, perfect. Fire.
All right.
By the way, Frank wants you and Quarter to be Mike Quarter, the owner, to be a tag team in pro wrestling.
Oh, we would kill it. I mean, now we're talking. I got Mike with me. Now we're talking.
As long as the match lasts about 28 seconds before he has a heart attack.
Like, yeah, as long as you're ready to be in there for like 5 to 8 minutes, and Mike has to do like 30
Tag
seconds,
him. He runs in, runs
I love
out.
goes takes a nap, then it'll be good to go.
Absolutely.
Nick, man, we appreciate you. We're looking forward to
Hey,
seeing you
oh,
back here
man.
in the Cap region, man.
Appreciate you guys always, man. Love you guys. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Love
There
you,
he
Nick.
goes, the man, the myth, the legend, the incredible Haig, Nick Haig. He is pure energy, and that's why he's so much fun. The next guy we're about to talk to, he doesn't always show the energy, but he always brings it on the field. Cornelius
There he
Lewis, we lovingly call him Silu. What's up, Silu?
What's up? What's up? How y'all doing?
Living that dream. Like when you see Nick Haig going crazy, running around, and do you ever look at him and go, dude, just save a little?
No. We need those guys on the team. I need somebody to do it because I don't have the energy to do all that hoorah. I'm saving my breath for the plays, you know.
There you go.
But you
You
never
know,
look like you're out of energy on the field.
Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna tell you something, CeeLo. I was watching film like I do, and I watched 3 or 4 games last week and this weekend, and every time you're on the field and the ball goes on the ground, you always get the recovery. Like
Yeah.
I'd say 90% of the time, you either get the fumble. If it's, got knocked out, you're there, you grab it. If you're close, and all that. I'm in awe because everyone else like, oh, the ball's on the ground, I'll go get it, and you somehow you're standing there with it, walking, to the ref right after.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just game time awareness, That's a big part of the game is being where the ball is.
Well, and you are the king of the big man touchdown. Like you're the king of the like because again, like practice, you make a joke about like being winded in practice and that. You never look winded when you got a football in your hand.
Oh no, that's the little kid in me, man. Touching the ball and scoring, that's always been a big guy's dream. We don't get to do that much. So
How many did you have this year?
2, I think.
You could have
2 or
had
3.
3,
Yeah.
maybe 4.
Yeah. I think it was 3. I think I ended with 3.
Should we get Ware back on and find out why you didn't get him?
No.
It was 2 on offense and one on defense for the scoop and score.
Yep, the scoop and score. And it's so much fun watching the big guys. Just watching them. We had, again, watching film, I saw Boz made a sack, and Boz was the reserve lineman, and you just swore, he just found a diamond ring on the ground, and they're jumping around, and they couldn't stop, and they were so happy. And anytime a big guy does anything, I think we get excited.
Yeah,
because we don't get
it's-
excited, nobody's getting excited.
it's a celebration among the group,
Yeah,
big guy scores a touchdown, we all got to celebrate and dance.
exactly.
Lou with us right now, Cornelius Lewis, offensive line, defensive line. Was last year the first time you ever got to play Ironman football?
More so defense. In the AFL days, I used to play a little D line to give guys a spell, going in nose guard and stuff like that. But not as much as I did last year. That's probably the most. I ended up playing like DN and stuff like that. It's a big difference, just getting adjusted to coming off the ball and trying to bend around the corner. I'm used to being the one blocking.
So we come to camp, and CeeLo has the cardio of a wildebeest, okay? And then we leave camp, or we leave the season, and he's got the cardio of a panther, okay? and during the season, as he progressed, I kept telling him, trust me, it's going to help you. It's going to keep you healthy. It's going to this, it's going to that. And he would do it. Big guys hate running, unless there's a buffet at the end of it. So he was just kind of getting through it, but you can see his body transform, right? So his body transformed. He slimmed down. He got to the point where his athleticism carried him, when he got fatigued and all those good things. But it was funny because we'd be in a game, and I remember the one where Brandon Cisse got kicked out of the game, and he had just gone in for you for maybe a minute. And
Yeah.
I looked at you, and I went, and you go, I know. And there were a few times where he didn't come out for maybe 1.5 quarters, for a breather. And then when he did get a breather, the breather usually lasted one possession. He was back in. So that was a real testament. And that's what I'm saying. This Iron Man bullshit award thing is give it to a lineman. Okay. Give it to a guy who gets hit on every single play. Give it to a guy who gets hit on every single play and has to protect your most valuable assets on offense, and on defense has to create the most havoc. Give it to a lineman. That's a real Iron Man.
We're doing stuff that we're not normally used to doing, like kickoff and kickoff return is not our forte. So
and this year,
down there.
buddy, get the treadmill out because this year
I've been
run down.
I've been on it. Those nets are gonna make a big difference if guys don't know about them. That ball can go haywire off those nets. So.
CeeLou with us. CeeLou, when Coach mentioned you were out you come out for a play or two or a series here and there. Did you find yourself going, thank God I need the win, or do you find yourself going, can I get back in there? Like where was your brain when it was going on?
Find the water. Get some water. Make sure you get some water. Get a shot of water because you don't know the turnaround is so quick. You never know when you're going back in. It could be somebody jumping off sides and you're right back in, or somebody getting kicked out of the game. Yeah.
I forget what game it was, but I one of those scenarios popped up where I said you got to stay in, right? I think somebody rolled an ankle or something, and I said you got to stay in. And he kind of looked at me, and then he said, "You built us for this."
Yeah.
He literally looked me in the eye and said, "You built us for this." So that made me feel like we had the right idea. Because listen, the little guys, you can run them at practice all day long. It's like I always get a kick out of these peewee coaches when they run the kids at practice. And I'm like, he's fucking 8 years old. He can run for 2 days. You don't have to condition an 8-year-old kid, right?
No, not at all.
But the big guys is where the real science of this thing comes in, is how do we preserve their feet, their legs, their stamina on Wednesday for Saturday, right? And yeah, you got to put in your work, but it's also shorten the practices, start bringing the intensity down, start doing certain things, because at the end of the day, we don't win anything on Thursday except pride for us. We win games on Saturday. And if these guys aren't healthy and strong and got their legs up under them, and I expect CeeLou to come to me and say, hey, we got dead legs, we gotta do something, coach, or, because as much as I can say, oh, I remember, listen, you don't remember. You don't remember how it feels where, you get up and you go to work and you do your thing and you come home and then you wait like 3 hours, you hear a knock at the door and it's your ass finally getting home. Okay. These guys put in the work, so we got to keep them healthy. And that's a testament to him playing as long as he's had at a high level.
CeeLou, is it hard to do that? Is it hard to go to coach and say like the legs are a little dead, or like as a man, is it tough to do, or is that something you've learned? Like, yeah, I gotta be smart.
No, as I got older, we have certain guys that lead from certain ways, and I had to learn how to lead from the back as a big guy. Like, you got the little guys that can set the pace in the front, and you're gonna have a big guy in the back that's setting the pace in the back. So the little guys know not to take off so fast when we get into the end of our run and stuff. So like, hey man, give me a chance to get through, and then sometimes I'll get to
the other advantage they have. I was a lineman, so I get where they're at.
Okay? Oh yeah.
So we don't just do stupid stuff to stay on our feet for a long time. We want to make sure that, like I said, when you weigh 300 pounds and you're physical, you don't want to be on your feet for 3 hours. It's just dumb. It takes its toll. So if you can knock it off in an hour and a half or 2 hours and then feed them real well, and then, make sure we're doing those things and ice tubbing and doing all the stuff that they need to do to take care of their bodies. But, you know, he, like I said, for him to do it, as long as he's done it, I'm in awe and at a high level, not just saying, oh, I played, you know, a couple years and that's it. This man's done it for a decade, you know,
Yeah.
so that's a true testament for a big man.
He's gushing over you, CeeLo. Don't blush.
Hey, I say
Yes,
this.
sir.
I'll say this today. I'll say it tomorrow. I'll say it anywhere. And I've said it last year. He is the best person we have on our football team. And there's not a close second.
Careful, because you know the other guys are going to start chirping. That's
No, everyone's got their thing. This guy keeps
Oh yeah.
so many things like he does together without wanting any of the credit, without wanting to do any of the stuff that others may want for doing that. He does it like a true gentleman, and he's a great father, great husband. He has all of his, you know, like I said, it's tough to play here because we want those guys that can play football.
Love it. See Melvin Hollins. CeeLo.
That's his
What's up,
adopted
man?
son right there.
What's up, Mel?
You better start charging
Yes,
that kid
sir.
rent. Come on now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I gotta go get my workout in. Gotta keep up with Mel. He's sending me all his workout videos. So.
Oh, really?
Oh
All
yeah.
right, but CeeLo, how do you like Coach brings up a great point. Dude, your size, dude, you're as strong as you are. You could slap people around pretty easily, but you always maintain that chill, like exterior. At least when you're not hitting somebody that you're supposed to be hitting on the football field. How did that? How close? How hard is it to keep the temper in check when you know you can handle your business whenever you want?
I use football as my outlet. That's my go-to for my stress reliever, my, you know what I'm saying, getting all that stuff out the way. Off the field, being big is kind of like, you know, you got to adjust. You can't be mean and running around and just pushing your weight everywhere. Somebody's going to get the best of you eventually. So just being smart, man. It don't take all that. I use my weight when it's needed to, and that's on the football field.
Love it. CeeLo is going to be back to hopefully bring another ring to the Capital Region, another big trophy in there. And all you got to do to be a part of it is 518-714-2200. Get your tickets now. And CeeLo, man, we miss you, and we can't wait for you to get back here in the 518.
Okay, I can't wait to.
There you go. Cornelius Lewis, man, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again very soon.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, y'all. See you next. All right.
There he goes. You gotta love, like, that guy he's salt of the earth. He's, you know, it's just who he is, and it's always good to see him and talk to him.
You know, he is. If he was a singer, he'd be like Luther Vandross. You know, he would be this smooth big guy, crooner, singer. You know, if he was the football player he'd be exactly the way he is. But you can also, you know, the most important thing to that guy is his family. And, you know, he's just special guy. I love him to death.
One of the Capital Region's favorites, one of the league's favorites, one of the people I enjoy spending time with. It's weird saying it when you can hear me. The GOAT himself joins us, the MVP himself, Darius Prince. What's up, DP? How are you?
What's going on, man? How you guys doing?
This is the weird, like, off-season chill DP. I don't know this guy.
Yeah, no, I'm just chilling, man. Just you know, that's how my afternoons be. Wake up, go to the gym in the morning, do some running around, and then, you know, just kind of hang out and watch some TV shows in the evening.
Good for you.
It sounds like, I mean, with the exception of the workout part, it sounds just like what I'm doing. So if I factor in the workout, who knows? But right now, I'm there with you. Darius, Cap Region is excited to see you back. As a matter of fact, one of the things we're doing today, if somebody already has tickets, even though we're doing a merch special for anybody who buys tickets today, if somebody already has tickets, what we're doing is we're putting them in a drawing if they refer people to get a championship game football that you've autographed, that Dwayne Hollis has autographed, and you should see the people who are excited about just the chance to get something that's got your name written on it. What's it feel like to be like just embraced and loved by the Capital Region after all the hate we threw at you back in your Philly days?
I mean, for sure. I mean, you guys definitely threw some hate at me, but when I signed there, you know, you guys embraced me and showed me a lot of love. You know what I mean? I'm forever grateful of that. I'm always forever grateful of the fans that's there. You know, coming back, this gonna be my third year there, man. It's become home to me. You know what I mean? So it feels good that, you know, people love me there and they want me back there and excited to have me back there, and it's exciting to know that people actually want something that has my autograph on it. You know what I mean? Like, so it definitely feels good.
So
Absolutely.
Offensive Player of the Year your first year, MVP your second year. How do you follow that up? What do you do now?
Basically, just, you know, just to stay at the top, man, takes a lot of hard work and dedication, man. So, you know, I can't afford to slack. You know, I'm putting in extra work in at the gym. You know what I mean? It's because I gotta stay on top of everything. So, you know, just obviously the three-peat, making history, that's number one. I mean, the individual accolades, I mean, I done did it all. So, you know, not that I don't care, but I'm more so worried about us just three-peating this year. You know what I mean? Like, my game's gonna speak for itself. If I need to be a decoy all season and the other guys step up and make plays and we win the game, that's all I really care about at the end of the day. So, you know, if
Yeah,
I don't get
you know what's interesting? I hear you talking DP, and you're right. You don't have anything to prove, right? Jerry Rice didn't have anything to prove, and he arguably the GOAT, right, of all time in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
No one's as good as you are. I'll put it out there. There's no arena football player that's as good as Darius Prince. Period.
Appreciate it, Coach.
No, but buddy, I love you to death, but I'm telling you a fact. It's a fact. So when power rankings come out and this comes out and guys say, well, you know, they lean pretty heavy on Darius Prince. Well, we lean heavy on Darius Prince because he's the fucking best football player in our league.
That is my favorite thing. When people do that, it's like ridiculous. Like, oh, they throw the ball to Darius Prince too much.
Right. You got Bob Jones or you got Jerry Rice. I think I'll throw to Bob Jones. What, are you kidding me? Right. So, yeah, we're going to throw to Darius Prince when we can. But this is the part that, Darius, I got to tell you, I absolutely love about you is that over the course of the 24 months we've known each other now, I've watched you grow into not only an absolute great football player, but a tremendous leader of men. And I mean that, because you don't care what anyone outside our circle thinks, as long as our circle is intact. And that's
all I care about.
And when people ask us, what's the Empire way? And we get asked that, I get asked that weekly. It's Darius Prince. It's Cornelius Lewis. It's Nick Hague. It's Sam Castanova. But there's always got to be one guy in the room. He's the magnet where everything draws to. There's got to be one guy. Okay. And that's Darius. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's not so good for Darius, because that means having to come up and have meetings with me and having to, you know, ask Mike something or having to do something. But when you take on that role, and you said this a couple weeks ago on our show, he takes that C so seriously. I haven't named any team captains this year, and I don't do that until about the middle of the second week of camp, right? He's team captain. Period.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Now, the other guys, they got to live up to my expectation of him. Okay? When you set that bar, not only on the field, but off the field, and you do all those things, in 2 years, I don't get phone calls. Darius is doing this. Darius is doing that. I don't get any of that with him. It's go to work. You watch him with his family. You watch him with his teammates. You watch him with his, you know, his roommate, how they interact with each other, take care of each other, study together, watch film together, have fun together, do all those things. That's the Empire way. plain and simple. Like I said, we're a part of it as coaches. We cultivate it. We help give them an environment to do it, but ultimately they got to do it for themselves. He does one hell of a job. I'm sorry, I had to say that. So anybody in the country, anyone doing power rankings, anyone doing anything, you're all full of shit. That's the best football player in the country. Period. Done.
Appreciate it, Coach. Man, you already know how we get down, so we ain't worried about the outside noise, man. It's us against them anyway. You know what I mean? Like they always got something to say about us. They always don't give us our flowers. But hey, man, we water our own flowers. You know what I mean? So we good over here. Y'all keep that outside noise over there. And when we report to camp, man, we're gonna strap it up and get ready. And at the end of the season, may the best team win.
If there was ever like an arena football Hard Knocks, the side story of Darius Prince and Dwayne Hollis living together and their adventures, it would be like A-roll would always be on the field, you know what I mean? But B-roll, like the second story would always be like these two like getting into things. You from like the first year I met you, you came in and you grew on me like quick. Like I went from a guy I was teasing and a guy was teasing me to like, that's a friend of mine. To last year, not only was that, but seeing you with Hollis here, how much ease does he bring to your day-to-day life to have a guy that you've known as long as you have and you're as close as you are to have him here as well?
Oh man, that's my guy. Like I said before, when I speak very highly of Dwayne Hollis because like if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have made the plays I made back in 2017 in Arena Bowl 30. And I always tell this story. We were on kickoff, and he was like, "Man, just get on there, just run as fast as you can. You're going to the sidelines after this." We had just scored a touchdown. He like, just run down there fast as you can, make a play, man. We need a big play. And the ball hit off the net. It bounced on the ground. Kendrick Ames jumped up and grabbed it, and I tackled him in the end zone. So they ended up getting the ball on the 2-yard line. And then right after that, Sean Daniels got a safety, which was a big momentum swing for us. And I just remember like Clint Dozell, like, that's because of you, Darius. You know what I mean? In my head, I'm thinking like it's because of Hollis. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because like just for him talking to me as the kicker's lining up to kick the ball, just telling me, run down there as fast as you can, make a play. He's been my guy ever since then. So, having him there, I love it. You know what I mean? Me and him being roommates and stuff like that. I mean, that's my guy, man.
You want to hear a funny story, Jeff? So the first guy I signed this year was Darius. 2 reasons. Best football player in the country. Second reason is respect for what he did, right? So I knew I was going to sign Dwayne. But Dwayne's, mellow Dwayne. He isn't as intense as his roommate at times, right? So
really hadn't noticed.
So I'm waiting. I figure I'll just call Dwayne when Dwayne and I have time, right? This guy would call Coach Ware every couple of weeks. What's he waiting for? Sign Dwayne. Sign Dwayne. Sign Dwayne. And I'm like, Coach Ware would call me and I'd say, I am signing Dwayne. I want to make sure I got room to do what I want to do. So, I get Dwayne on the phone finally, and Dwayne and I are talking. And I had a sneaking suspicion he was on the other line, but that's okay. But I'm just kidding. So I'm talking to Dwayne, and we work out the contract. And when the contract was completely worked out, and he agreed to it, I bumped it. And I told him why I did it. And a large part of that is he wasn't calling me, Darius wasn't calling me for more money or more this or more that. He was calling me for a teammate. Now, Dwayne's a little bit more than a teammate to Darius. They're like brothers, all kidding aside, right? And so, but that'll just show you, if you're in our circle, if you're in this man's circle, his deal was done. Hay was in the barn. It was all set. Everything was finished. Just waiting on getting his buddy taken care of, right? So, again, little side story. A lot of people never know, never give him props for. All they hear is him coming out with the goat head on and all that.
That's my guy, man. We probably talk every day, if not every other day. You know what I mean? So that's my guy, man. We've been like that ever since we've been teammates back in 2017.
Well, he helped develop you, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, we spent so much time together, watching film, and
There's
you
no
figure
one better at film than Dwayne
you
Hollis.
you figure when I first stepped into the AFL in 2017, I was basically the fourth receiver for Philly, so I was running all the scout team. Well, when you're on scout team, you're going against the number one defense. So I'm going against James Romaine, Torres Jones, Dwayne Hollis, and they used to always coach me up like, look, like you're giving your route away, like like when you start to lean this way, I automatically know which way you're going. You know what I mean? So when I was going against the best every single day, and instead of these guys tearing me down as a rookie, like, oh, you're not good, you're this, you're that, like you didn't get it. They actually encouraging me, teaching me up, like, you know what I mean, teaching me the game, wanting me to be better. And that's kind of what I took in from them. Like, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So we got to make everybody strong. Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody. So that's the reason why I'm the leader I am today. You know what I mean? Like, so I need you to be good. I can't afford for you to not know where to line up. I can't afford for you to not know what route you're running. I need you to be able to. I need to know that when our ball's in the air, you're gonna give it 110% and come down with it. And that's what I try as a captain to all the young guys that come into camp. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be better than me. So I'm gonna teach you everything that was taught to me.
That's
You know what I
awesome.
mean? Like, because it's gonna make you so much more better. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's what I was taught. And I was given that from the defensive side of the ball. Hollis used to tell me all the time, like, bro, like you gotta change it up. Like you can't do that all the time. Like you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And like it just always stuck with me. And then obviously I had the guys on the offensive end, like Money Reynolds and SK and Beavers and Outlaw when Outlaw was there. Like, you know what I mean? Like everyone was just helping me so much. And I really just took all that in. I was like, you know what? When I become the vet, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to give back to the rookies. You know what I mean? So, and it just always stuck with me.
Yeah,
Now they have them. Wish they hadn't helped you because you're kicking their ass in the field.
but Jeff, that's our mantra. That's our mantra that we talked about early in camp last year, and he just said it again: is I can't be great unless you're great, right? So that we got that from Nelson Mandela, and basically it's I cannot be a great coach unless Darius is a great player. Darius can't be a great wide receiver unless Cornelius Lewis is a great lineman, right? Sam can't be a great quarterback unless Wade and Hollis are great. So it's not about who's great. We want to all be great and help
Right.
each other be great, right? And
And
the older you get in your career, as you go through your career, it's funny how you almost feel an obligation to pass along what you know.
right.
And so one day when Darius is a coach somewhere, and if he chooses to go on that field and he becomes a coach, then you're giving it all away at once every year, right? But the guys that don't want to do that now it's funny. I watched this interview the other day and they had this player on for this team, and he said how humble he was. And then he talked about all the awards he wants to win. And I thought to myself, that's fine. I get it. It's coming from a good place, but you don't hear our guys saying that. You hear our guys saying, all we want to do is win a championship together again. And so that's why he's the GOAT, man.
Man, that's all we want to do, man. I mean, that's the individual accolades is cool. You know what I mean? But I mean, you can ask anybody. You can ask anybody who's never won a championship but won a lot of individual accolades. What would they rather have?
Resignalo was on the show saying it the other day.
Right. Like you can have all the accolades you want. You can most touchdowns, you can have the most passing yards, the most receiving yards, the most interceptions. But when you look up to someone who has 3-4 championships and you don't have none, I mean, yeah, you still got your individual accolades, but I'll trade that in. You guys know I play college basketball.
Right.
I scored 1,700 career points. I have 0 championships. I'm the second highest scorer at my school, but I don't have nothing to show for it besides that. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I don't have no championship. I don't have a ring or a trophy sitting in my room. You know what I mean? I don't have that. You know, like so.
If-
Yeah,
if-
it's a cool accomplishment, but
no,
that's
right.
all it is.
But people really do not understand how hard it is to win a championship. They think
Yeah.
when they hear us talking like this, they think that just because we're confident, we're not prepared to put in all the work that's necessary. A championship can get lost over a sprained ankle.
Yeah,
A championship can get lost because you didn't travel well. A championship can get lost, midway through the season with an injury to a certain player or certain players. It takes much more than just football. It takes
right.
the commitment to, hey, this guy's hip. I couldn't get him out of the game. He couldn't even walk. Okay. And he's scoring touchdowns and he can't. And poor Wash is coming up to him to do their dance and flip and jump. And he's like, yeah, whatever. I can't get up. Oh,
Yeah,
and if you watch,
right.
if you watch the games, you'll see Darius even saying, I can't move my hip. I can't, and the thing about it is then I'd see him and I'd say, come on, man, we're good. Let's take a break. He'd look at me and go, no, I'm good. And he would go back and do it. You don't become a warrior just calling yourself a warrior. Okay. We have a thing in church that I say all the time. Jesus had to wear the thorns before he could wear the crown. Okay. You have to put in the pain and the work to become the greatest. Okay. You have to put in the pain and the work. He just told you what he does all day. His life is revolving around training, getting ready for camp, right? That's what he's doing. Okay. So all the haters, anybody who thinks, the only guy I want to win an award next year, please, Jesus, if you hear me,
It's
let
Coach
Coach Ware win an award.
I already knew it.
Yeah,
But because that's my dog. You know what I mean? Like him and I, man, we talk numerous times throughout the week. Like you know what I mean? And
Right.
you can't for a guy to come from the IFL, which it's still indoor football and it's still 8-on-8, but it's a really completely different style of football compared to the NAL.
completely.
So for a guy to be an offensive coordinator over there, where he had the number one offense for a year or two, for him to come and to translate his game to here and to really have the like for him to really transition everything and have the number one offense, to have the best quarterback, the best receiver, like you know what I mean, like the most rushing yards we have. Like for him to not get his flowers, man, it's messed up. Like you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like and
I say that
it's crazy, and he deserves it. And I'm not saying that because he's my guy, but he really deserves it.
no, I say that tongue in cheek, but I agree with you 110%. But again, he would trade all that in for that third ring, right?
Right.
We're right now. We're laser focused on one accomplishment. Okay. You want a stat next to your name. Here, I said this early on. You win one, you're either lucky or you got good at the right time and you stayed healthy. You win two, you're a pretty damn good football team in a row. You win three, you're legends.
Yeah.
You're legends. Okay. Nobody wins three in a row. It's the hardest thing in sports to do.
It's
Okay.
tough.
So what I'm saying is for us to be committed to that is going to take the resources of everybody to not care about the other stuff and stay laser focused. That's why, again, I could say going into camp, there's one guy who has a C on his chest, and it's this guy right here because he gets it, what we're ready to do. Okay. So anyway, listen, we kept you long enough, brother. I appreciate you. I miss you. I can't wait to see you. I hope the family's doing good and you're going to get up and get out of there and come in and be with your other family.
I'm about to say, yeah, miss you too, man. Yeah, I'm excited. Can't wait to get back. I'm counting down the days, man. Counting down the days.
We're close.
But yeah, we need everybody in Albany, man. Come out, support us. MVP Arena, man. We're going for a 3-peat. We all need you there, man. Like, we love you guys, and we need your support, man. This is big, man. We're going for history this year.
The Darius
Thank
Prince
you.
MVP Arena. Correct. Got it. So let's pack that thing.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
DP, man, we'll talk to you soon. We can't wait to see you
Thanks,
back here in
brother.
the Cap region.
All right, I'm going to holler at y'all.
There he goes, Darius Prince. It's always good to see the GOAT. And now the Supernova. I mean, you got to go right to the guy throwing him the ball. Sammy Supernova, Castronova. And we've decided, everyone's already said that's your nickname, Castro. So you Supernova. I hope that's okay.
Whatever fits the shoe, baby.
Look at you out. You're doing the driving scene. Like, that's always like, it's kind of like a big league move, coach. He's big leaguing us. He's like, I'll fit you into my schedule where I can. I happen to be out driving.
He's pulling a trailer full of all of his awards.
Yeah.
So Sam Castronova, you're working right now. We're interrupting your day. Is that what I'm understanding?
I mean, yeah, anything to break the day up, it's good, you know. We're almost done here, on our way back to the shop, so no big deal.
What does Superman do when he doesn't have his cape on? What's your other job?
So my cousins owned the dumpster business for like 7-8 years now. I've been working with them for that long, so we got like 14 roll-off bins and 4 dumpsters, and it keeps me busy.
Well, here's another reason why you can't be the Italian stallion. You can't be an Italian guy working in waste management and expect to get away with that.
Nah, we don't do
right,
waste management. Waste management raise their prices. We're all set on them.
Didn't they make a movie about a guy like that?
A TV show at least.
How you guys doing?
We're
Good, Sam.
We're excited. We're getting ready.
Out?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You all interviewed out? You talked to all these guys?
No. You know what, Sam? I know a lot of people. Well, first of all, how's the baby?
Very good. Just turned 5 months. It's getting pretty big.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
I saw it. That's a big kid, man.
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be playing quarterback. He might be playing your old position, coach.
I think you have a center or a guard there. Yeah, he's got some legs. But hey, you know, one of the things that we've been talking about with the guys that come on is since you left, since we finished the season, we had the year we had. Is there anything that you're missing right now about being back in Albany?
Oh, of course. I mean, I miss just being with the team, being with the guys. Like I always told everybody all last year, we had like the closest knit group I've ever played on. So it was just fun. It didn't even feel like a job. We're going and having fun with our boys every day, and we get to play football and we get paid to do it. So definitely miss the guys and miss you guys up there.
Yeah, we miss you too, for sure. Yeah, so as you're getting ready right now, can you give us an idea, like, how's your training going? Notice how I fit that in, Jeff? I want to hear what is.
I like it. Okay.
Training's going good. I mean, it's tough right now, just busy with work and with the baby, but I'm playing basketball 3-4 days a week to stay conditioning shape, and then just doing some home workouts right now to try and get past the time by.
You throwing?
Yeah, staying throwing. Got a couple flag football games, a couple games a week that I stay throwing, and then I'll throw with, I don't know if you remember Jordan Williams and Vince Gregory. So Vince is in the IFL, and so those are my 2 guys I throw with sometimes.
Perfect. Jeff, what did you have?
Well, I said our friend Hal Talbot. He said he doesn't think you're actually driving dumpster. He thinks you're plowing snow.
I will be probably doing that tomorrow morning. So thank you, Hal. Thank you. That is what I will probably be doing because we're supposed to be expecting a storm here. So I got to get the plow in my truck later today. Shout out to Hal and for helping me out with the truck last year. Big help.
There he goes. So all right, so Sam, like we're excited to have you back, but like there was a lot of teams and other leagues sniffing around trying to get a supernova in their lives. What was it that made you decide to come back to Albany? What was it about Albany that you missed that you were ready to go chase another ring with us?
Yeah, I mean, like me and Shorts, and I think maybe somebody else. We were in the XFL draft pool, but nothing kind of came about from that. And then I had some other teams in the NAL kind of give me a call, but I had told Coach Manaz if I was coming back or if I was going to be in the NAL next year, it was going to be with you guys. So that's what brought me back. I mean, I think it's the best organization in the National Arena League, and I told people that, and the way they treat the players and everything. So, I mean, that's and the fact that we got a majority of our core coming back, and especially my big boys up front, that did a great job protecting me last year. So, I mean, that was the place to be for me.
And also, we've been asking some of the guys, and I figure since you've unsuccessfully tried to change your nickname from Supernova to Italian Stallion, what is your favorite movie, Sam?
My favorite movie, honestly, it might come as a shock, but I think my favorite movie, probably at least sports movie, is Miracle on Ice with Kurt Russell. It's that one gets me every time when he's giving a speech. 9 times out of 10 we might lose, but not tonight.
Has Coach Manas ever dropped one on you like that, where you're like, I'm never gonna forget that quote?
He had a few.
Is it
He had a
clean
few
enough for public?
pregame. He had a few pregame speeches that were like, "Oh, all right, let's go."
But not clean enough for public. You can't repeat them.
Well, you will keep that between us. Stays in house.
Sam, man, we miss you here in the 518. I love that you're working, but I hate that you're not here doing it. And everybody misses you. Even little Benny Wednesday in the office, he said
Oh,
he bets you're a god in basketball.
listen, there's only one God, and he's up there. But I'm not bad at basketball. I did score 1,000 points in high school, but I just do it too. I hate running just to run, so I like to play basketball so I can at least stay in shape a little bit, you know?
Just don't come in with that dad bod. That's all I'm going to say.
We're chiseling it away, Coach.
All right. Sounds good.
And Jeff, as long as we can schedule these golf tournaments when I will be in Albany this year, that would be great.
Listen, I'll do what I can do. Breaking up, I can't hear. So what's going on? Just kidding, of course, Sam. We'll get you out. It's, you know what, man? You win a championship. It's a lot easier for me to get you some free walk-ons for golf courses.
Hey, sounds good to me, boss.
Sam, man, we miss you. We can't wait to see you when you're back here in the Cap region.
Sounds good.
Sam.
Miss you guys.
Drive
Take
safe.
care. Yes, sir.
There he goes, the Supernova, Sam Castronova, and just a good dude. You wouldn't expect he'd be out hauling dumpsters. You know what I mean? It's just not what I expected.
I don't want to say anything, but I love blue collar quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I love blue and that's not disparaging in any way to say him. I like quarterbacks that aren't afraid to work, roll up their sleeves, do that kind of stuff. That says a lot about character of the guy. I know how unbelievable his faith is and his anchors, that keep him calm in heavy waters, we'll say. It comes from his faith, and usually those kind of people aren't afraid to get up and go to work every day.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, I've got something real quick before we get the commission.
Okay.
Dave Williams sent me a message. Hey, Coach, if possible, could you please discuss a little bit about how player contracts work and the minimum and maximum salary range is? Also, mention the other benefits that players receive, such as housing, meals, etc. Thanks. Looking forward to today's show. Go Empire. So, Dave, we have no salary cap. We can pay a player whatever we want to pay a player. Like Jeff always says, we conduct our business accordingly. I think we probably have the highest payroll for players as anybody in the country. We pay the players especially veteran players, a good wage, a very fair wage. Rookies, we pay a rookie wage. It's the way it works. They haven't done anything yet. So the investment's always got to be on their part. We give the opportunity, they make the investment and take advantage of the opportunity. But it's still, then again, we pay for the housing and we pay for the food and we pay for the special dinners and all the little things that go with it. And we travel real well. So, they're taken care of very well. That's, I think, it's very rare to see 13 or 14 players from your team the year before sign back with you.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk to the guy who he gets blamed a lot, but it's probably not always his fault. It is the commissioner of the NAL, Chris Siegfried. Commish, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Let me just put my hat on real quick.
There you go.
There it is. I told you we own this league.
See how fast that came off?
Yeah, because you know dang well, like Jacksonville and Carolina in particular are sitting there going, Okay, we're just getting right down.
Not, when you turn your cap backwards, you're emperor, not commissioner.
There you go.
Welcome. That's what everybody was like. Hey, when you left for a while, you came back. You're not president anymore. I'm like, I was always the emperor. I mean, come on, we knew that. But Commissioner Siegfried, it is good to talk to you. I'm glad you were able to make time for us. We're doing kind of a ticket push where anybody who buys new tickets, we're giving them 20% off merch code promos. Anybody who already has their tickets but refers somebody, we're putting them in a running to win an autographed football by Darius Prince and Dwayne Hollis. It's a championship game football, and you're the guy who's
But that's not the big. Wait. That's not the big prize.
That's
Get 7,000 people, and you're wearing a dress.
8,000 is the dress. 7,000 is the dunk tank. So, Commish, I'm willing for 7,000 tickets sold to the home opener. The next game, I'll be in a dunk tank for the party.
Good. There for a second there, I thought you were referring to me, and I'm like, okay, I'm good with that.
But 8,000. Now, Coach wants me in a dress. If we get up to 10,000 tickets sold, will you do it? He's thinking about it. We almost.
Listen, I'll do whatever it takes to promote this league. I love the game so much. I mean, I would have to wear some shorts underneath. I'm not going commando with the dress.
Yeah, that's fair.
People don't want to see that. Well, my wife.
The ones that do don't belong in our block party.
No, but obviously, guys, listen. This is going to be an exciting year. We all know why. I mean, something we've all been pushing for. I've been pushing for since the day I became involved, and hate to jump right into it, but I mean, the one thing when Albany came on board with us a few years ago, I kept saying, hey, it's the same game, it's the same game, it's the same game. And everybody kept asking me, but you don't have the nets. And I'm like, other than that, it's the same game. So nobody's more ecstatic than me about the return of the rebound nets. It is, in my opinion, what makes our game arena football. It's all about the nets. And we're the only league in the world that will have the rebound nets. And I'm so excited that we're bringing it back. It's like going to the circus and not seeing a trapeze artist, or throwing the girl through the air. That's like the big event at the circus. Well, at least as far as I'm concerned, other than a bear mauling whatever. But the rebound nets just bring our game to another level. And, especially the fans in Albany and Orlando in particular, and Jacksonville for that matter, I get so tired of answering the question like, hey, you ever bring back the rebound nets? And I'm like, sure, at some point. I'm so glad our owners finally decided to step up and make our game what it really deserves to be. And that's the true version of arena football. So anyway, I'm off my soapbox. Actually,
No, 100%. I mean, we're as a coaching staff, we're real excited about it. And did you catch any of the show earlier? Because we were talking about, somebody asked about how do we protect the returners, and I said, well, as the rules committee, we've discussed that. I don't know if you want to share any of that or wait.
Sure. Obviously, I was having this discussion with the potential expansion team recently about the difference in the rules between our game and other versions of the indoor game. And, throughout the history of our game, the rules have been such that the rules have morphed to protect the players. And we really have the safest version of the indoor game in the world. And when it comes to the rebound nets, that does add a potential for some big collisions. But what we do is, we have kind of the equivalent of a halo rule, meaning players on the kickoff team cannot cross, and the field goal team cannot cross the 5-yard line until the ball is either touched by an opposing player or hits the ground. Once that happens, all rules are off. So it just gives the receiving team that little bit of an opportunity to catch the ball unimpeded. Because, if you think about, when fans envision a return guy, let's say Darius Prince, I don't know if he's going to be your returner, but I'd imagine he's going to want – Coach said no. He's going to probably want a couple opportunities to get off the net. Let's just hypothetically say in the championship game in the fourth quarter, you allow Darius to get off the net. His back's going to be turned to the opposing team. So unlike a punt where you can fair catch it in the outdoor game, we don't have that ability. So a player is going to be turned his back to the team attacking him. We want to give them the opportunity to survive that by, giving that halo rule. So it's a 5-yard line, very easy to officiate. The walls are dead completely if the ball's not possessed. So that's something the fans need to understand. If they see the ball being whistled, let's say the return guy muffs the ball and it hits the net. Muff the ball meaning he never clearly possessed it. It hits off the wall. Ball's dead.
Okay.
Now, if he possesses the ball, okay, so Darius Prince possesses the ball, he turns and that's a bad example. Darius Prince never fumbles. But let's say player B possesses the ball, turns and runs. He's got possession of the ball, and then he gets stripped or fumbles. Now, if it hits the wall, it's live. So that's the distinction that we make on the walls, live versus dead. So
having control is the big issue with
correct.
it.
Correct.
And we're keeping the Uno rule, right?
Correct.
So that's the other thing. So if the returner gets tackled in the end zone, that's 1 point, and the ball in the 5.
Correct. Which I don't think that we've had so far in our short history, but I think we're going to have a couple of those this year.
I do too.
And we're keeping the deuce as well.
Yeah.
So,
We talked about this too. If the ball were to go over the net, ball would be placed on the 5.
5-yard line.
If
5-yard
the
line.
ball were to go under the net, because there's a little gap there,
Yep.
the ball would be placed on the 5. And then we talked about the Manas rule, where I can't kick the ball out of bounds every 5 minutes. This is when my kicker shirt. And I don't know if we want to get into specifics of that yet, but it's going to be an escalating penalty. Okay.
All right. So in essence, you're right. So when people think of the uprights and they think of the outside of the uprights, which is, 2 30-foot frames plus 9 feet. So let's just call it 69, say 70 feet, right? Outside of that, ball comes to the 20. If you do that multiple times, more than likely it's on purpose. It's either that or your kicker's probably getting cut. But we're going to penalize teams that kick the ball out of bounds, whether it be just outside the upright or just blatantly out of bounds. They're going to get penalized. The maximum penalty will be a 10-yard penalty, which would basically put the ball on the opposing team, the kickoff team's 20-yard line. So we talk about minus 20, plus 20. Let's say Albany is receiving the ball goes out of bounds or whatever. They, outside, let's say get the ball on the minus 20 or the 20 that's closer to their end zone. Well, to penalize teams that kick the ball intentionally out of bounds, you're going to get the ball on the plus 20 or the 20-yard line closer to the kicking team, which is a very, very, even though it's only 10 yards, it's a very severe penalty. So, I mean, if you have a kicker that literally is going to kick it out of bounds, you're better off trying to kick an onside kick versus giving the ball at the 20-yard line, to be honest with you.
And one of the things that we talked about, Chris, was the fact that the excitement of the Nets is, and Coach Gibson, I think, said it best in our call, right, is that we want to see guys return the ball. We want to see the excitement of the return game. Okay, so that's definitely going to have it. We're preparing our game plan as a coaching staff. We think that special teams will account for 3 touchdowns with the Nets per game is what we've kind of settled on. We hope we get all 3, but obviously we have to be prepared to the defense of that as well. Yeah. Is there was there any other of those rules that you wanted to discuss or talk about today, or no?
I mean, no, we're still, obviously tweaking some things.
Okay.
But for the most part, the biggest change that people are going to see is the addition of the rebound nets.
Yeah.
So
and again, everybody, we're going to try to keep the nets as comparable in every arena. We talked about how many inches will have bindings per net, things of that nature. So it's as fair as possible. So when you go to some place, they don't have real loose nets, and you go to other places and they don't have, real taut nets, and trying to keep them as unilateral as we can. And I think, Chris, you're doing a great job with that. Just trying to make it, there'll be some difference, but
yeah, we're going to have a little bit of growing pains. Obviously we've got a few teams that got that have the the ones they use back in the Arena Football days, like yourself and the Orlando Predators.
Yeah.
Myself and our supplier were actually traveling out to West Texas on Friday to go inspect the brand new shiny aluminum truss style net system that we're getting out there, and that will be the staple net system moving forward. We're going to allow some one-off nets over the short period of time, but in the long term, we're all going to use the same style that you guys have and what Orlando and West Texas has. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, I got a call. I missed a call from Coach Tate. I wonder if tell me his nets came in.
Oh, they're in. They're definitely in. The frames are in, and we're traveling out there like this Friday, so in a few days, just to put them all together, do kind of a dry run, take the measurements.
Hey, I'm just curious. You're going out to Odessa, right?
Yeah.
So you're in Orlando. You're in Orlando,
right?
Where do you fly in?
Midland Odessa Airport's piece of cake.
Oh,
it's
really?
actually pretty easy from Orlando. It's pretty easy. You can fly American, Southwest. There's a bunch of airlines that fly out there.
Okay.
I fly a lot on Delta, and unfortunately, I can't get closer than like Dallas. But the first time I flew out there, I flew on Southwest, connected through Houston and into Odessa. It was actually pretty simple. It's only 15 minutes from downtown Odessa.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to say it was easier than flying to San Antonio, but it wasn't harder.
Okay. Yeah. No.
So, it seems on paper like it's a lot harder to get to until you fly out there and you realize how easy it is.
Yeah, because I'm a little nervous about travel.
No, I wouldn't be. I mean, I flew out there the first time, never been to Odessa before, and it's a smaller airport, so it's kind of like flying into
Albany.
Smaller than Albany or similar to Albany. It's a pretty small airport. So, when you have the smaller airports, it's pretty easy to get in and out of there.
Okay.
I think on the way back, I think I got there the typical hour and a half, 2 hours ahead of time. And by the time I parked my rental car, checked in and got to my gate, I still had an hour and a half to go. So
okay.
You get through security in 5 minutes when you're going out to West Texas.
I like it.
The biggest thing you have to battle out there is all the oil miners or whatever you call them, the roughnecks you call them, coming and going, because that's the big business. You have the big basin out there where they're drilling for oil for days.
Oh wow! Okay.
It is the home of Friday Night Lights, so
yep.
That high school stadium seats about 20,000. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty state of the art.
Yeah, Coach Tate was telling me about some of the football program. He's on their staff as well.
Yeah. So
he was telling me some stories. It's pretty cool.
So I was driving around out there when I had some free time, and school was in, and it was probably 9 o'clock in the morning. And I drive by the little middle school or junior high school or whatever they call it, and the kids are out there practicing. I drive by the local college, University of Texas, Odessa, or whatever it's called. I think they're a Division II program. They're out there practicing at 9 in the morning, and I'm thinking, what's going on? So I asked Coach Tate about it, and and basically, instead of doing gym, the football players have football practice during school. So it's a really, really good use of time. I said, Florida's not like that. Florida's got some amazing athletes, but they're not investing like Texas is when it comes to the kids. And I don't want to say it's an afterthought because football in Florida is pretty good, but they're not, if you think about a Florida high school football coach, they're not getting rich doing this job.
So
it might be in Texas because it's all about the high school football.
Right.
Commissioner Siegfried, real quick, we had some questions about rules. Dave Williams, with the dead ball in the end zone, is that the end walls and the side walls? So if it hits either one of those before it's possessed, it's a dead ball?
Yes. We want it so one of the things with our rules that we try to do is we try to make it simple for the officials. We're doing a lot of things with the officiating to improve that. It's been a kind of a sore subject for a lot of people. When you see the officials in the beginning of the year, they struggle, and towards the end of the year, they kind of get it dialed in. So we're trying to address that by training them. But when it comes to the rules in place, kind of common sense kind of takes over a little bit. So in the past, the end zone walls were live because we didn't have the rebound nets. And it just kind of made sense because the 3 or 4 times a season that it bounces off an upright, now I'm not talking about per game, I'm talking about total, was worth the risk. But now that it's probably going to be a lot of muffed balls off the net, we want to make that dead. Last thing we want to see is a player with his back turned trying to pick up a ball in the end wall, so to speak. Think about Albany, for example, and then all of a sudden he gets smashed by 2 or 3 guys, blindsided, so to speak. So we don't want to see that. Plus, it makes it easier for the officials to officiate. Hey, it hits the wall, dead ball, just move on. Player safety, number one, and, make it a simple rule. That way they don't have to define, well, did it hit the 1 yard line or was it in the goal line? The wall's dead on all kicks, all free kicks. That's kickoffs, field goals that cross the line of scrimmage. Well, they don't even need to cross the line of scrimmage. Any ball on a kick that hits the wall before possess is dead. Simple.
Then Steve Von Schiller, he said you must run it out. No taking knee to get a touchback.
No, you could take a knee. It's going to cost you 1 point. So you can take a knee, but
But if you do that, then you're
Margin
also
free
coming
on
out on the 5, your own 5.
Yeah, but you're costing your team a point.
Right.
So
you lose and lose.
yeah,
You lose the field
So-
position and you lose the point.
from a coaching point of view, I'd rather the ball on the 2 versus the 5 is not as important as losing a point. So just get the ball out of the end zone.
Right.
There goes. And then there was one more question. It was if we were going to be keeping. He's now calling Emperor Chris. Will you be keeping the 1 minute timing rules?
Yeah, absolutely. We're in discussions of making some adjustments to those a little bit, mainly in let's say a blowout win. Keeping the clock moving in that situation, but we're tweaking some things there. But when it comes to close games, 1 minute timing rules stay in effect.
Very cool. I mean, that's. I guess like as a fan who is also part of it, when I hear you talk about keeping the rules as easy as possible, I know last year with the Ironman rules coming into place, you were put in a position where you had to pretty much travel the country and make sure everything was running right. Do you foresee a scenario where you might have to do that because the nets are in, where you're going to have to go to each one of these games, each one of these markets, and make sure they're calling it the way you want it called?
Well, yes and no. I always make a point to go to every venue. Obviously, it's a lot easier to go to places like Albany just because the operation up there is first class. You guys do an amazing job. So it's easier to go to those places because I can actually enjoy the game and work less. But one of the things we're doing that's new when it comes to substitutions, 2 things. I'll address the substitutions first, and I'll address Ironman second. Is we had a few scenarios last year where people, and I say people, some of our substitution officials struggled to mark down the players properly, which they just struggled. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And we had some coaches too.
Yes, but so
Wrong
what? I was at a game and there was a mistake. Coach Manas knows which game, and it was unfortunate how it happened. We had a player that played that was dead, and I didn't know. I couldn't really officiate it, and I was like, I wasn't sure. But the other team happened to do things a little bit differently. They had some military guys as assistants, and they were checking in. Every single player would check in with them, and we just kind of started thinking, well, why don't we have the players check in like basketball and like volleyball and soccer? And that just eliminates so many issues, potential issues, whether a coach is intentionally or unintentionally trying to circumvent the rules. It's going to be very difficult to screw it up if you just say, or let's take Darius Prince. Let's assume Darius is a 2-way player. We know he's a specialist. He's a great kid. But let's say he's a 2-way player with Joe receiver. And Darius is number 6, I believe, right? And let's say the other receiver is number 10. So Darius, when he comes in, he's just going to go to the substitution official and say, hey, checking in for number 10. And literally, that's all there is to it. And as you would think after 20 something years of arena football playing Ironman, you think someone would have come up with that sooner. But it just makes sense. It just, you come in, you check in, that extra 2 or 3 seconds it takes to check in with a substitution official is not going to change the game, but I think it's going to speed up the game. It's going to help. The few substitution infractions that we had, I think are going to be eliminated completely. And really, the substitution official is just going to simply be marking down. Number 6 is going in for number 10. Number 10 comes out. He makes a note. Boom. Done. Period. Yeah. Even if you have a mass substitution, you got 4 guys coming in. They just simply check in one at a time. And I think
it's great because the least amount of time we can spend on the better.
We don't need to review it. We don't need to discuss it. We don't need to check with the official. We don't need to stop the game.
Right.
We all collectively have a common goal that we want a 3-hour or less game. We don't need a 3.5, 4-hour games. It's too long. I think everybody's goal is 2.5. I don't know that we can get there, but we can get in that 2-hour and 45-minute to 3-hour sweet spot. The 3-hour games should be those back and forth barn burners, 75, 74, 68, 67 type of games. Those are going to be the 3-hour games. The games where Albany's up 70-40, that should be a 2-hour and 45-minute game, 2.5 hour. Let's go. Let's get out of here. So in addition to that tweak to how we do our substitutions, we went back and we added a rule when it comes to Ironman that we had back in 2006. And what we experienced a little bit last year when we went back to Ironman, we had a lot of players that were like, they didn't really understand how it worked. And a lot of them were like, well, I'm going to play twice as much. And I'm like, no, you're not. But we did lose a few players because they were just truly did not have the ability or the skill set to play both offense and defense. That's not a knock on them because sometimes you have players that are so gifted on one side.
Right.
They're just not an asset on the other side. Let's say a pass rushing defensive end, let's say he just cannot block to save his life. So teams that don't want to make him a specialist now have an option instead of losing a guy, or let's say he's just an undersized pass rusher that's so quick. He's a 6'5", 245-pound speed rusher that really has no value on offense. Not that a guy that big, 6'5", 245. He's got some value. Let's say he's good on both sides of the ball, but he's too valuable to your team to play on the other side of the ball. Now we have a rule where you have to have a specialist. Well, let me rephrase that. You don't have to have the specialist, but you have the option to have an offensive line specialist and a defensive line specialist. And the only position they play is, let's say, defensive line. The only position they can play is on the defensive line and special teams. They cannot play offense. Conversely, the offensive line specialist can only play offensive line and special teams. He can't play defense. So it's a third specialist. It's a hybrid version of what we're doing with Ironman football. It really kind of makes everybody have the opportunity. Now we don't really have any positions that are not an asset in our game because if you're just that one-off, let's say that that offensive lineman that just he's no value on defense or just too valuable to play on defense. Now he's your offensive line specialist. So it's that hybrid version that we used in 2006 that worked really well, in my opinion.
Right. And I think there's going to be some coaches, smart coaches, that are going to say, I can use that offensive line specialist position and I can tag Cornelius Lewis this week so that way he only has to go one way. Yep. And then next week, I rotate it to Melvin Hollins the next week. And the next week, I move it to Harvey or Hardy. And that way you can preserve some guys too. So not only can you have an exceptional left tackle, let's say, or guard, a guy who's just so great on offense that you don't want to dispose of him. And I think that's going to end up more being for centers for a lot of teams.
Yep.
But in our situation, I can see us rotating those line specialist positions to keep guys, if you only have to play half a game, that save your legs. Yeah. You got a guy, that's needing a little bit of a break, and you still get the benefit of him doing what he's great at, either offensively or defensively.
Yeah. So, or you mentioned like a center position, or maybe you're one of your centers gets banged up and you got to roll with one center. You make your center your offensive line specialist, and
Right.
There's
Yeah,
just
well,
lots of
I
it gives you
think
lots of
it's-
options.
Yeah, I love the chess, not checkers. I love the idea of
Yeah.
planning that out. So yeah, that's great. Chris, was there anything else as far as rules go that you wanted to talk about today, or just anything in general for 2023 to the fans of Albany?
No, I mean, I'm just, obviously like you guys, excited about the 2023 season, and I'm still working behind the scenes, and I don't want to get ahead of myself on 2023 and look towards 2024, but I'm working on multiple expansion teams for 2024. I think this is the big year for us, and bringing back the Nets was absolutely crucial. With all these rumors floating around about other leagues coming to fruition, whatever. I mean, our league was formed basically in a nutshell because all the things that some of the owners experienced in other leagues, let's just say that were good, bad, or indifferent, taking all the good of the things that we've learned in creating this league, but still retaining the arena football brand. What's interesting is, sometimes perception is reality, but in our case, it's not. We are the highest paid league out there. And it's not even close. And
100%.
We don't have a salary cap, so players are free to negotiate their own deals, or their agents are negotiating their own deals. And but what our owners and what the players are starting to find out as they become more educated is, hey, and I tell them a lot of times, until you see 12, 14,000 fans in the stands, there's only so much money the owner has, and they need to understand that the owners want to pay these players all the money in the world.
Yep.
But if they're losing money, there's not a lot of incentive for them to pay, more than what they can pay. And
well, that's kind of the premise of this show today, was to remind our fans that, if you want to see great talent in your market, and you want to see not only the Darius Princes in Albany, but you want to see the Kendrick Ings in Fayetteville, and you want to see, the Jonathan Baines, and where's he at? San Antonio?
San Antonio.
Your second favorite team.
Whatever. Anyway, no,
Yeah,
I'm just
big
kidding.
beef
I
with
love
San Antonio.
Jonathan. But then you got to buy tickets in your market. And it's really weird how it works, though. The more tickets you buy, the bigger and broader sponsors you get.
Right.
Right. And let's just say, hey, let's do a worst case scenario. Okay. You can't afford a ticket. You can't afford a $20 ticket. Let's just say that. Then do the third best thing, which is make sure you're watching us on our YouTube, because those numbers mean something too. Okay.
Absolutely.
So numbers generate great football players, great ownership, great sponsors, and a great family experience. But it's all generated by the fans. And I don't know if they truly understand that they have so much more control over this league, and any league in football,
Absolutely.
than not, right? So
100%. We rely on the local economies. We rely on the people of the Albany and surrounding communities that can get themselves to the games. I mean, every penny they spend at an Albany Empire game helps the team, helps the players. I wanted to touch on something, though, when it comes to our game that the fans need to understand, and I'll go on record on this. I don't care who hears it. Outside the NFL, and that'll be at a certain point in time, I'll address that. But out of every other league in the world that plays any kind of American tackle football, nobody in the world can beat any of our teams playing our game the way we play our game. And that's any other indoor league out there, including some outdoor leagues out there. We have the best arena football players in the world. We don't play the same game as they play in other leagues, where you can have a quarterback that's really not a good passer that could, run around and make some plays, do the zone read and everything like that. We have the best passing game players, quarterbacks in the world. So, yes, I'm basically saying that if any other team in any other league wants to take their best team and play any of our playoff teams. I'm not even the best team, just any of our playoff teams. Bring it on. Well, I'd bet the house on any of our teams playing our brand of football with Ironman, rebound nets, our rules. Bring it on. We've got the best arena football players in the world. And that includes north of the border, the Canadian Football League. These guys are not coming. These guys are not coming to the United States and beating us at arena football.
I know that's taking you up on it because literally our owner, Mike Korda, has been saying this from the beginning, and he's doing it right now. Come to Albany anytime.
Yeah, conversely, though, I'm not sitting there saying that our guys are going to go and play your brand of football and beat you. They might, but I'm not saying they would.
No, but that's
all
fair.
I'm saying is when you come to an arena football game in Albany, New York, in this example, Albany Empire, no other team in any other league is going to come to Albany, New York, and beat you guys. It's not going to happen, and it does. And it's not just because you guys have been the best team in the league the last 2 years. They're not going to beat Jacksonville. They're not going to beat Orlando. They're not going to beat anybody in our league playing our rules without months and months of training. 2-3 weeks of training, you're not beating us at our game. Not with your current players. We've got the best arena football players in the world right now.
See, you know what? I got to say this because it doesn't get said enough. And Chris, I'm sure I'm going to piss you off for even saying this, but this is why this guy is the best fucking commissioner to lead this thing going, because he's willing to say it like it is. It sounds familiar, but he's willing to say it like it is. He works his ass off. He's friggin' underpaid. He's overworked. He gives everything he's got to this game. And I would say that no matter what team I was representing in this league. But thank you for that. But it's the Dan. I'll tell you what, I can call him up on a Saturday at 4:00 in the afternoon and say, Chris, I got to ask you a question about nets, or I got to ask you a question about a rule, or a player. And he's always there. He picks up the phone, he does it. But for him to come out and say to any other indoor football league or someone who plays our brand of football, you ain't going to come in and beat what we've created. And the fact that he said what he said about we are the highest paid indoor football league, you have no idea the difference between other leagues and the NAL. Okay, I wouldn't pay rookies on my team some of the monies veterans are getting in other leagues at the same risk factor in playing professional contact football.
No.
Okay, so yeah, it's great to see a guy step up and say it like it is. And I love that about you. And I appreciate you. You keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully the rest of us will catch up with your vision, because I know your vision has been there since I've known you, about nets, about Ironman, about doing this, about reps getting better, about travel getting better, about this happened, that happened. I hope we all catch up to what you've set up there for us.
Well, Coach, I appreciate that. One of the coaches in our league was a friend of mine, had mentioned that, hey, when it came to Ironman, he goes, if this fails, this is on you. And I was like, 100%.
I know. I remember that 100%. Conversation. Yeah.
A lot of guys in the beginning were not really understanding it, but, and I tell people our game is different, right? You have the USFL and the XFL coming back, and I looked at a few of the games this weekend, and it's the same football. We all love football. That's why we all do this at some degree, at some level. We all love football. But like here, I live outside of Orlando, and Orlando has a new XFL or USFL. I don't know what league it is, and they're going to be playing at the Citrus Bowl Stadium. Go watch a game in 95-degree weather in April in Orlando, right? For 3.5 hours or whatever. Then go inside the Amway Arena a few blocks away and go have a party where it's pretty much like a rock concert, dancers, motorcycles, very similar to your atmosphere up there, at a third of the price. But tell me which is better. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy about this, Jeff? Tell me if you caught this. Okay, so 3:00 Saturday was the inaugural kickoff of the XFL. I'm a football guy. I'm going to have it on, right? Yep. So they start the announcements, and they had their pyrotechnics and the empty stadium, just the lower and the pyrotechnics, because it's light out and they were just using smoke bombs. So they come off and it looked like the ground was farting. It just, and then I said to Susan, Susan, come here and look at this. And she goes, oh, and I go, watch. And I went on YouTube and I pulled up a game of ours. And I said, now tell me which pregame was better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me how much more fun it was looking at fireworks and pyrotechnics and coming out of the tunnel and cheerleaders and everything to go with it. And then you watch poop, 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 poop coming out of the ground, along those same lines. Along those same lines, Coach, I was at a Miami Dolphins game this past season. They played the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I was with a friend, and we got VIP treatment. We were in one of the luxury boxes down there at Hard Rock Stadium. It was awesome. Nice.
They were so far away. I watched the game on TV in the luxury box. They were so far away, and it's like the worst possible seat at MVP Arena was twice as close as our luxury box seats were at Hard Rock Stadium. So it's like, and I think that's one of the reasons why hockey gets so popular is because you're so close to the action. Same thing with NBA. And listen, I am not a basketball fan. My parents are huge basketball fans. I'm really not a basketball fan. I respect the sport. Don't get me wrong. But I think one of the reasons why basketball is so successful, other than the fact that the athletes are great, is you're so close. You literally, if you're in the front 5-10 rows, you can hear all the things they're saying to each other. Let's just put it to you that way, and you get that experience. And that's what you get at our game. Our players are high-fiving the first couple of rows in between plays. In the NFL, you don't get anywhere near those guys.
No, it's crazy you say that, because this is going to sound very, if you put it in the proper context, there's a father and a daughter who come to every game of ours, and they're on the boards. They have great seats, and they're on about, I think, the 15-yard line across from our bench. And before every game, it started with, on the first game, I walked over there and she was eating French fries, and I reached over and I grabbed a French fry and I had it. It wasn't the first game because we lost. It was the first win we had, and I ate the French fry. And then ever since then, she holds the French fries out for me in pregame on the bench. And she's the cutest little thing, and her dad's great. And she's such a loyal fan. But if I don't go get my French fry, oh man, it's like, but it's so cute and it's so great. And if you watch our game, when does a child, forget an adult who has options, but when does a child ever going to be that close to what we do? Where? I'd love to hear it. No. And now that you include the nets in it, come on, man. We went back. Yeah, I hate using this term, but we're gladiators again. I mean, you're in an arena now. Now it's an arena because it's enclosed almost, right? So super excited, Chris. Can't wait, for everything.
Got my daughter FaceTiming me. I'm doing a Zoom interview with the Albany team, baby. Can I call you back? Bailey, do you like arena football?
I love it. Good answer. Good answer. You stay in the family.
I'll call you back, baby girl.
That's the athlete of the family, right?
Yes, she is. She grew up on arena football. She was born during my first year coaching back in 2001. She's on full scholarship for soccer down at Palm Beach Atlantic, and that's after 4 knee surgeries. So
wow, that's awesome.
We affectionately call her the franchise. So
I get that.
But her and my son grew up. Speaking of kids, they grew up on arena football. My son was a baby my last year playing in 2000. He came to all the games. Of course, he doesn't remember them except for pictures. But when he was a young man, 6, 7, 8 years old, he would go on some road trips with me and got to experience the behind the scenes. But I always tell the players, the kids, they don't understand the positive impact they have on the kids. And, the adults love it. They like the interaction because they can actually talk a little trash to the players in a good way. High five, have their guy for the most part. But the kids, and I tell players all the time, go out of your way, high five them, because they don't know the difference between the NFL, the Canadian League, and the Arena Football League. But what they do know is, hey, I high-fived Sam Castronova. Sam Castronova is my guy. He autographed my hat, or Darius Prince, or whoever it is. That they meet a guy for one instance at MVP Arena, and that sticks with them for the rest of their life. And they'll meet all the guys with the Albany Empire. They may never meet anybody from the New England Patriots unless they come to an Albany Empire game. And I'm not saying that to put them down. It's just it's a different world.
But it's who did I? We may have an announcement in the next couple of days of a guy that's
Just teases the whole show, Commish. So it better be good.
That's very it'll be one of those like, damn, how'd they get him? Okay.
Does Castronova know Tom Brady signing, or does he not?
Not yet. But he, whether we get him or not, the premise was the same as I talked to him, as I talked to a lot of these very talented young recruits. Okay. And I say to them all the time, you've heard the big fish in the small pond, the small fish in the big pond kind of thing. Like if you're just coming out and you were a second team guy on a D1 school and you're really good, but you're not that guy yet, and all of a sudden you end up and you're on an NFL team, well, you're a special team guy. You're running down on kickoffs. That's what you're going to do. And then if you say, well, I think I want to play more, I'll go to a USFL, I'll go to an XFL, I'll go to a CFL, and then you're still going to be another fish in the pond, right? So as I was explaining to this young man who's very talented, won every award you can win, literally every award you can win, I said to him, you've already been a big fish in a really big pond. You want to come and be a big fish in a nice small pond? And he kind of stopped, and I said, this is the place where that talent I said, this is where you can come and not only be a great football player, but you can start creating your brand. You can start cultivating your future. I use Albany as a great example because of our connection with politics. I can tell you 50 times in the last 2 years, I'm having breakfast next to a senator, or I'm talking to a congressman, or I'm talking to a governor's aide at breakfast, or we're doing stuff, and the industry and the people in there. And I said, you guys, big fish in football, if you're great, you last 5 years. I mean, if you're legendary, you maybe get a 10-year career, right? But most football players in professional football last 5 years.
Yeah.
Now you can elongate that career in our game, but even if you don't, what's your setup? What's your next step? And you don't know if the guy you're shaking hands with at a game doesn't own an industry. You don't know if that guy doesn't own multiple car dealerships and looks at you as a potential sponsor or spokesperson or even a salesman one day. Aaron Washa, a great football player, he's selling cars, right now and loving life and training and doing his thing, but he cultivated every relationship he had, right? So that's the other thing about our game, being intimate. It allows you to brand yourself, to create opportunities for you where you're not competing with a Tom Brady for the Subway commercial. I'm competing, with myself, and just every time I go eat at one of our local food places, just taking a picture and saying thank you, creating your brand. And I wish these young football players understood that better, because this doesn't work. We're all perishables in this business, So
that's true.
But anyway, Chris, we kept you long enough, buddy. I appreciate you as always coming on. We're going to have you on again. I know not
anytime, man. I got to go back and work on my chicken coop.
Yeah, you got chickens now?
I got 9 chickens.
Hey, man, I just read the craziest story today. A guy got killed by his rooster. Killed. The rooster attacked him, hit him in the back, hit his artery, and he bled to death.
Oh, my God.
I was killed by a rooster. If that ever happens to me, Jeff, don't do it. Drag me out. Put me in some other scenario.
I got a couple.
Man, something more glorious, Yeah.
I got a couple buddies where we have a destroy the cell phone deal. I'll get a hide you from the murderous rooster deal. I'll get it. We'll drag a bobcat out or
Well,
something.
real quick chicken story though. It's a true story. We had this one rooster. We had 3 roosters and we had 12 chickens at one point in time. One of my dogs ate one, and another dog ate 2 of them. But this one rooster kept going after my wife. It was the weirdest thing. He was just such a jerk, and he was a loudmouth rooster too. And like the next day, the one dog just took him out and killed him. And we weren't really upset about it because that particular rooster was kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And then a few days later, he kills one of the hens. I'm like, all right, stop. Now that's where we draw the line. So now we got to keep them separate. So I'm building him a bigger coop.
There you go.
So that they, because I've been rotating. Today was chicken day. They get the backyard, and tomorrow's the dog day. So.
Okay. There you go.
But unfortunately, chickens are not the cleanest of animals, but we're getting about in between 5 and 6 eggs a day. So
that's big money right there. So
hey, with the price of eggs now,
we're practically, it's like cryptocurrency.
Normally my joke would be, listen, we need to pay our commissioner more. He's out farming his own eggs. Now it's like you're going to own the league because the price of eggs.
I mean, I get any more eggs, I might just buy the entire league.
Yeah, there you go.
How much in Albany? I'll give you a couple thousand eggs.
I'll talk to Mike, see what we can do.
Right.
Well,
right.
We appreciate you here in Albany, and we're looking forward to the season. And thanks for taking some time. And like Coach said, we'll bother you again very, very soon.
Yeah, enjoyed it, guys. Thank you so much for having me on, and looking forward to the start of the season and getting back up there to Albany and see you guys defend yet another title.
We're looking forward to doing it every year.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it,
guys.
There he goes, Commissioner Siegfried. He's a good man, and now we know where to get eggs. Now we know.
I'll tell you what. You know what, Jeff? All kidding aside, I've said this numerous times with you. It's nice to have a guy leading from the top like that. He's just he is a good guy. What does this say?
I am the defense kid. I live and breathe Albany Empire Arena football, and we're going to win number 4 and get that 3-peat. So he's calling our shot for us. So
I'll tell you what, guys, we I've never been more laser focused on something in my career in football. I really, really would love to do this, not only for my coaches, my players, Mike Korda, you, Jeff, Matt, our family, our football family, even Benny, maybe Benny. But just in general, just try to, and especially for the Capital Region, the fans and everything that's going on, because we're never guaranteed tomorrows, right? So we have to, like Nick Hague said, enjoy the day, because, right now we're the reigning champions. You want to keep that really nice moniker? We got some work to do. Fans and coaches and players. Fans and coaches and players. How did we do today? Has the phone rang off the hook?
There was a point where Matt came over and shut the door to this room. So it had to be good, because he doesn't do that for my benefit. So it must have been so I would shut up so they could hear the phones.
Good. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Know what we're going to do?
Thank you.
What we're going to do, we're going to keep the promo code going this week until Friday. So if you buy your tickets this week, I'll have the promo code on there for you. So Brendan will give it to you. 20% off the merch store, the online store, AlbanyEmpireNAL.com. And then we'll keep we're going to do the drawing for the autograph football Friday at noon. So we'll keep that rolling too. Keep getting those references in. If you refer somebody, they buy tickets, we're going to give you an entry for every ticket that is bought by calling 518-714-2200. If for whatever reason you get the voicemail, just tell them to call you back, and Brendan will call you as soon as he can, and we'll get you taken care of. So
yeah, and don't buy it because you're getting something. Buy it because of the guys you just heard on the show and their teammates, because you love this team as much as I love this team. Do it for the greater good of what we're trying to accomplish. You all can be part of history. Like I said, this is not. It is not segmented just for the football players or the front office. It is. This is something that you can brag about in infamy. You guys, Mike Corda put up, what was it, a 1999 banner for the Firebirds?
Yes. Yep.
And y'all went nuts. All right. We're trying to put a third one next to the other two we just put up, where no one is ever going to do this again. You know that, right? Like nobody's ever going to do this again. And we need your help in being there and cheering and being loud and obnoxious and great and doing all the things.
Bullies, baby.
Yeah, man, that's what we need. I need 8,000 Nick Hags in that place.
With a better accent. Oh, well, that would get a little.
We wouldn't understand them. They're just like, no.
Well, all right, so let's get the thank yous out there. Big show today, had a lot of fun. Thanks to assistant head coach, offensive coordinator Damon Ware, linebacker and sometimes fullback Nick Hague, Cornelius Lewis, offensive line and defensive line, MVP Darius Prince, quarterback Sam Supernova Castronova, and of course the commissioner himself, Chris Siegfried. Thanks to you, Coach. Thanks to Brendan and Matt in the other room getting things done. Thanks to everybody who was part of this and had a fun show today. It was a good time. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Jeff, thank you as always you're the guy, man, the guru at this.
Just one who knows how to work a computer. That's all. Let's be real. All what it is.
You're too humble, my friend. But no, I appreciate you. I know the fans appreciate you. Like I said, there's so many great people that are part of this. It doesn't come around often, guys. It doesn't come around often where you get this. You better embrace it now because, one day it will end. One day it will end.
Absolutely. Thanks to TransFinder, our proud season. They were our field sponsor. Now they're our season sponsor. We're excited about it all. And 518-714-2200, AlbanyEmpireNAL.com. Get those tickets. And, if you get enough of them, you get to dunk me. If you get enough of on top of that, you get to dunk me in a dress. And we figured out today the last time I've ever I did wear a dress one other time. And
should we quit calling it a dress, start calling it a muumuu?
Well, now you're just being hurtful. Guy has chickens. He's a hero. Guy, moves a little bit and he's fat. I don't understand.
Hey, that freaked me out, that rooster story, because I've had chickens and imagine just getting hit. Like I said, drag a bobcat in with me and a knife in my teeth.
Yeah,
laying there, don't make it. Don't make
war
it
paint under your eyes.
Yeah, war paint. Yeah. It's
If only he could have made it to the AR. That bobcat was ferocious.
Right. All
right, Coach. I will do this again, and let's get these tickets moving. We'll have some fun, and we'll win some more rings and trophies.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you. People of Albany, win February. We love you. All right.
Go Empire.
Go Empire.